All right, what is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing today? Happy Wednesday. Welcome, welcome. We got a lot of people hopping in today. We got a lot of awesome things to talk about, a lot of fun things in the bowling world. Just making sure everything's up to snuff, and I think it all is good to go. So let's see who's all hanging out. I saw Tyran is hanging out a lot. Did Joe being the first one up here? Mark Leffridge, what's going on? Tilo Pablo, what's up? Let's see who else we got. Professor Turtle Guy's hanging in. Grumpa's hanging in. Maniac Mechanic is hopping in. What is up, guys? How are y'all doing today? How are y'all doing? We see Mitch Man dreaming. We have Tori, Vito, Lefty, BDGF. God, everyone is hanging in. So we got a lot of fun bowling stuff going on. It's a little bit of a quieter week, I got to be honest, because we only had one ball get announced, but it is Rotogrip Transformer week. Now, we did talk a lot about the Transformer last week, so we won't probably talk about it a whole lot tonight. We're going to go full usual Q&A session tonight, answering every single question that you guys have. And then we're going to talk about how to build a tournament bag. Like, what do I do when I'm trying to build a tournament bag? Because we are in big tournament season right now. It seems like tournament season happens 24/7 in the bowling world, but now it's going to be kicking up a little bit more with state tournaments, association tournaments. We have nationals that's starting in about a month. We have all the fun stuff going on. And then we're going to talk about a little bit of a daily show that I am now running with Bowlers Network and want to officially announce my partnership with them and all of the awesome people that they have on that network so far. So we can talk a little bit about that and the work that I'm doing with a Hall of Famer, Carolyn Doran Ballard, who is on our show, which is incredible. So we'll be able to talk a little more about that as well. If you are new here, make sure to drop a subscription or a follow on whatever platform you're on. Let me know if anything sounds weird, looks weird, whatever it may be on any of the platforms, because we are live on a lot of different places. We're live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, all at the same time. Rocky, what's going on over on the TikTok? But let's see. Let's try catching up with a couple questions that we've got already hopping in. 300 Dreaming, we will kick it off with you with asking about the 3D offset. I'm guessing the Assault. What ball can replace it? Yeah, the Assault's been gone for probably about 4 months now, 3 months. They just can't sell them. So if you want one, grab another one. They're dirt cheap right now in most places because nobody wanted that ball or any of the 3D offsets for some odd reason. So a little bit unfortunate there, but for something to replace it, that's where like a Maximum Effect fits pretty well. That might be your best bet. Or the new Black Widow Dynasty is a little bit weaker, a little bit sharper, but still has a very similar vibe to it. Let's see. Mitch Man with his beautiful insults. Tyran, I've been here too long. Yeah, that's okay. You guys can pregame as long as you want. I've put up the stream about 24-ish hours in advance just to see if more people would hop in early or not. I was kind of curious how YouTube's algorithm works. So it looks like it was pretty similar to what it would be if I just popped it on a couple of hours ago. So we'll see if we end up doing that in the future. Lefty Motive Guy got a Jackal Ghost. Love to see that. Spencer, what ball should I get if I'm a rev dominant bowler looking for a pearl ball? Honestly, anything in the medium category or even the weak category is going to be a great call for you. Tarzan, what's going on? Hope you're having a good day. Thank you, man. I hope you are as well. Eenie, what's up? John Morales on Facebook. What is going on, man? Harry, what's up? Out of name. Guardian. Lefty, can you turn your mic up? I think my mic levels look pretty decent, but let me know otherwise if someone else agrees. I think it's looking pretty decent. Vito, what would hitting my Ion Max with a 500 grit and then polishing it do? That would give a very interesting reaction. So the ball's still going to want to hook early, but it's going to get a little bit further down lane than like an Ion Max at like 2000 grit. It's honestly probably going to fight itself a lot, and you're not going to be able to play very deep with it. If you are going to polish it, I'd go to 1500 first because that cover stock is so strong. Spencer, what ball should I get if I'm a rev down? We hit that one. Lefty, talk about the Lefty tournament bag. Yeah, we'll talk about lefties in there as well. We'll talk about a righty bag and a lefty bag. Lefty bag, purple hammer with a 3-inch pin, purple hammer with a 4-inch pin, purple hammer with a 5-inch pin, maybe a black hammer in there just in case you want something that doesn't hook much, and then plastic. So hope that helps. Now we'll get into an actual lefty bag. Yeah, all purple hammers. There we go. Me and Rocky are on the same page. We're good to go. A hollow, what's going on? Is the Zero Mercy Pearl stronger than the Equinox Pearl? Absolutely it is. 100% it is. Mark, better strong ball, the Dynasty or the Spartan? I don't know if either is better, but I would say that the Spartan is going to be earlier and a lot smoother than the Dynasty. The Dynasty is fairly sharp down lane. So if you want a true asymmetrical solid, that's where the Spartan comes in. But if you want something that's a little more of like that bridge to the strong sharp category, something that's going to be a little sharper down lane, that's where you want to go the Dynasty. Mitch, man, I'm in Bowlers Network and couldn't find your show. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it isn't. I can't find it either on there, so I have to talk with Jay and the crew to see where exactly people will be able to watch. But once I have that, I will be getting it to you guys. It's more of a PSA that that's something that's going on. We did record our first session today. Was super, super fun. We actually got into the radical controversy, which was kind of funny. So that was very entertaining. George, what's the beef with Phil and Brunswick? They just, sorry, live under a rock. No, all good. They just decided to trash talk me quite a bit on their podcast for like 4 weeks straight now. They've mentioned me in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know. Brunswick, the rest of the company really likes me. Those guys are just really bad representatives for a major brand, unfortunately. Phil sends his love. I bet he does. Yeah. How's the Outer Limits doing? BDGF, awesome news on the network. I'll be joining up and also helping out where I can. Awesome. Perfect. Love to hear that. No, and I don't mean that in like, I'm excited that the Outer Limits is doing bad. I should preface just that ball is getting 0 screen time anywhere. I saw there was a video with it that went live and for a content creator, and I don't think it got to 100 views in an hour or two. So I don't think people really care about that ball at all. So how it is. It's how it is. Celtic, with Luke's video on the Mayhem talking about going with a longer solid versus a hybrid, what do you see as the benefit of getting a hybrid versus a shiny solid or dull pearl? So I'm going to have a video on this, but I want to preface to you guys because it's a little bit of a hot take, but I don't think it is. So it's something that no one really in bowling has talked about, but I don't believe that a hybrid ball should be something you ever seek out. I don't think you should ever say, I want a hybrid. Because hybrids are the most unpredictable type of ball in the game, not because of their reaction, but because hybrids can either act like a pearl ball or act like a solid ball. So let's go with the Viking, for example. 900 Global Viking is a shiny hybrid. It acts much more like a pearl ball. We have it in the strong and sharp category. Now, let's go with a different hybrid. Let's go with the Attention Star S2. Let's go with that one. That was a dull hybrid. That one acted more like a smooth ball. Both of them are hybrids, both with similar-ish cover stocks, but radically different ball motions. So hybrids aren't really, like, I see a lot of people ask, like, what's the best hybrid in the game? You can't really ask that because they're all so different. So I don't think anyone should really ever search for hybrids. Because, like, I know EVOKE, some people were upset because, I wanted a hybrid one. Well, this acts more like a hybrid one than if they actually released a hybrid one. Yes, a hybrid EVOKE would probably hook a little bit later than the new one. But if they put the leverage cover stock on it, like they did with the original beach ball, it would hook just like a Mayhem would. It would look identical. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So for anyone out there, I really don't recommend, like, I have this is my arsenal. I really need a hybrid here. I wouldn't recommend that. There's plenty of what I call bridge bowling balls between the solid and pearl category that can work as well as a hybrid. The No Doubt, for example, the No Doubt Solid, shiny solid bowling ball. Ion Pro Solid, shiny solid bowling ball. So there's a lot of other options. So don't worry about that hybrid cover stock that much. You really should just categorize them into one of two camps, either a smooth ball motion or an angular ball motion. And that's kind of going into like why we do the categorization guide, is to get rid of some of that idea. Because I saw somebody on Instagram posted a video of like, here's all the storm cover stocks and core guides, and the hybrids were like, these are nothing alike. You really can't put them in the same category because they're so radically different. One of the good examples is the maximum effect that I mentioned. That's a hybrid. It acts more like a solid than a lot of solids do. Like if you wouldn't tell me what they were and you put the Black Widow Dynasty and the maximum effect on the same lane and you threw them, I would assume the Dynasty is the hybrid and the maximum effect is the solid. So that's kind of the tough thing with the hybrid idea. So what I recommend for you guys, don't ever go seeking a hybrid. Try seeking a ball in between other bowling balls, or seek a ball that does a certain thing. So I'll have a video on it, hopefully sometime soon. I'll probably record it this weekend. Because yeah, hybrids are just so odd in there. Let's see. Eenie, I just got 3 new balls. Black Widow Dynasty, a raw pearl, and a T-zone. Is that a solid 3-ball setup? Yeah, you have really, really strong in the Black Widow Dynasty, but you have a massive step down to the raw. So there's a big gap in there. So when that Dynasty starts to go, you're gonna have to make a big move closer to the gutter to be able to throw that raw, because the raw doesn't like to cover many boards. Stan, good morning from South Korea. Hey, thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Good morning to you. Streehow, my friend is a 74-year-old senior bowler. She throws straight a 10-pound plastic ball. I'd like to get her something with a little bit better cover stock. Thinking a bubblegum vibe, always a good call. Lindy, welcome, welcome. Sophia over on TikTok, what's going on? Jace over there, I got my best game with the Heckler Hybrid. Hey, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. And I just shot 233 from Nick. Congratulations to Nick for that huge 233. USA, hybrids can also be very mid lane as well. Several things vary. I mean, a hybrid can, a solid can, and a pearl all can be very mid laney. They all can do that. I mean, remember, the physics blackout is one of the smoothest balls out, one of the smoother bowling balls out when it was out, and it was a pearl. So I know I saw another TikTok of somebody talking about, like, a hybrid does this, a solid does this, a pearl does this. It's like, yes, but the hybrid you mentioned is basically a solid bowling ball. And the hybrid that he had hooked earlier and was smoother than the solid ball he had. So it's always tough. It's always tough trying to, like, get those education pieces out of it, because you don't want to misinform people is the big problem. Let's see. Tyran, we're from the Midwest. It's all about tailgating. Exactly. Except for today, where it's snowing and very, very cold outside. I had to get through the miserable Minnesota winter to go get some Subway today, and that was rough. It was hard. Keith, I'm building out a tournament bag for Junior Gold. Currently have an absolute power, attention star, and a vibe. Nice. It's not a bad arsenal so far. I like it. Good job. 2 more bowling balls left. Depends if you want plastic or not for your spares is always a big one. And then urethane is always a good option. Has to be 78 hardness, so I'd recommend a black hammer. Charmaine, what ball is similar to the danger zone? Honestly, there aren't a whole lot that are close to the danger zone. That one's kind of in a unique spot. I would say it's like a weaker and sharper IQ tour. It's not like an Arctic vibe at all. It's like a bubblegum vibe. I think is going to be the next closest you can. I think that's going to be the closest you can get. Be careful with the exploding trees alert. I saw that meme. That was wild. Alec, looking to replace my Jackal Ambush for fresh short oil pattern. Something between an Onyx and an Equinox Solid. Hyperdrive 3.0 or Raptor Rain. I'd honestly go Raptor Rain. It's going to be more pricey. Or a Black Widow. I think Black Widow or Raptor Rain will be good. I think the Hyperdrive will be a little too close to that Onyx. Celtic, if you're going to a tournament with an unknown pattern, how many balls would you take? 12. No, I always hate tournaments where it's a mystery pattern, because there's never a limit on how many bowling balls you bring. So I bring a lot, because if they put out 35 feet, I'm going to need a urethane. If they put out 47 feet, I'm going to need a super strong ball. So I always bring more bowling balls to the mystery patterns compared to the ones where they tell you the pattern ahead of time. So I would probably bring 9 or 11, one of those two, just three 3-ball bags or 3 3-ball bags and a 2-ball bag. I know it's a lot. It's probably overkill, but the mystery patterns are tough, because if you don't have the right equipment and you go there, you're in trouble. Drink of the day, by the way, is blue pomegranate body armor. Beautiful. You got to go to the Illinois Classic with me in March. I'd go. I'd be in. I'm kind of getting the itch to bowl more stuff, so I want to go travel a little bit more and do some stuff. Cub Killer, what do you think about the Viking? I really like the Viking. I think it's a great ball. It's getting severely ignored. I think it's a fantastic, just shiny ASIM. Really good for that spot. It's great for house shots because it's not too angular. It's like a stronger attention star. If you guys like the attention star, this is like a beefy attention star is how I like to see it. So the Viking is a great ball. Overall, 10 out of 10. And Sean with a $20 super chat over on YouTube. Sean, thank you so much again. How you doing? Scored an exotic gem in a phase 3. Biggest score undrilled. Inbox a Spectre. Ooh, and you have a Danger Zone and the Purple Ice with the Combat. Now I need a motive ball fit between the EJ and the VIP for a 3-ball motive bag. Primal Ghost might fit there. Primal Ghost, even a Venom Shock. Venom Shock's the GOAT, so I'd recommend that. But Sean, thank you for the $20 super chat, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Caden as a 2-handed lefty. Would a Purple Hammer Solid Reactive be a good choice after my GB5? Yeah, I think so. It'll be weaker. It'll still be smooth enough, so you should be okay. Mike, would you rate the Radical Conspiracy? Which one? Is it like the original Conspiracy or the Radical Conspiracy? The newest one, the all black one from like 2024, was the Radical Conspiracy, which is an insane name. Also, Spare Time, thank you for the 10 gifts for the Let 'em Cooks, and Mike with the 9 roses. So I think it's a good ball. I think it's good for what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be strong. It's supposed to be slow. It's very, very good at that. So I think it's a great ball if you have a newer one. The original Conspiracies, I remember puking out a little bit quick, but that was like older Brunswick stuff. So if it's a new one, you should be okay. Burp, I still have the Motive Tank Blitz. I need an upgrade, but I don't know what else to get. Unfortunately, there is like no replacement for the Tank Blitz right now. The level is kind of close. Otherwise, there really isn't much. You could try. I mean, the Shadow Tank is not it. So I think the level is your only bet, which is now officially discontinued. That and the Ion Pro are both discontinued. Charmaine, what ball can you compare to a danger? Oh yeah, we hit that one. I said very little. Peyton, what's going on? Do you participate in Al's Golfing Bowl? I do not. I was on a team 2 years ago, and I got booted for a guy named Mitch Hoope. Fair decision. And then last year, I commentated it with the main commentator who was there, Fef, Bowling with the Fef at that time. So I don't know what the plan will be this year. I don't know if I'll compete, if I'll commentate, if I'll stream, whatever it may be. We will see. But Buzzy, thoughts on a replacement option for a Max that isn't a Storm Ball? Generally not enjoying Storm products. Zero Mercy Solid and Jackalonics are going to be your 2 closest bets. Unheard Gaming over on Twitch. What's going on, man? I'm looking at an alert. I have an Effect Tour, and they have the same RG and diff. Oh, don't worry. The alert is much weaker. The alert is a good 1.5 lower than the Effect Tour. Yeah, don't worry about that. Even though the RG and diff are close, the cover stock is different, and the Effect Tour is also asymmetrical, so it wants to flare that little bit more. So don't worry about that at all. Celtic, what would be the difference between a Rockstar versus a shiny Rockstar versus an amped? No matter what, if you have a situation like that where like the Rockstar and the amped, so one's a solid, one's a pearl, even if you polish the solid, the pearl is going to hook later and it's going to finish better down lane. It's going to be sharper down lane. I did a test with that with the phase 2 and the phase 2 pearl that Storm ended up reposting on all their socials, which was very kind of them. But the phase 2 would get down lane, but it would be much smoother and slower, where the phase 2 pearl would actually round out that corner and get through it. Because the phase 2 is meant to be dull and want to hook in a little more oil, where the phase 2 pearl is meant to be quicker down lane. Also, we have another super chat. Dan, thank you so much. Starting the Radical TDH ZVL Jersey Fund. Love the show in the Discord, the best bowling community around. Damn, thank you so much. And no, I will not be getting a Torpedo Direct Hit jersey, but thank you, man. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Mills sends it love. Mitch, man, the Dynasty is very sharp off the spot. Yeah, that's where like the Dynasty is an odd choice. I thought it was going to be a pure replacement for the 3.0. But if they want to keep the 3.0 and the Dynasty out, I don't know if the Dynasty has much of a spot in a bag. Like, if you want something in between your solids and your pearls in terms of a big ASIM, then sure. But otherwise, like, you shouldn't get a 3.0 and a Dynasty. They're just too close together. They're just way too close together. So I don't know. That's an oddball. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Dynasty a little bit to see what it's for. But if you need something in that spot, great option. Then it's a great choice. Raymond, is my 2.0 Black Widow the same as the Dynasty? No, not even close. Not even close. The Dynasty is going to be a lot more angular and a little bit longer down lane. The 2.0 is going to be very, very smooth. Steve, what are some strategies to deal with transition with people who spray and pray the lanes? Try to get your accuracy up a little bit. That's probably going to be your best play. Try to focus on a spot. Try to not muscle the ball and try to just stay consistent is going to be the best thing you can do. Storm B, those two are dirtbags and awful representations for the company. It is, I do have a lesser opinion of Brunswick, unfortunately, because of those two individuals, which is unfortunate because a lot of the guys at Brunswick are incredible at what they do and everything. So hopefully I can get confirmation from Brunswick that they are not like that. That they don't hate content creators. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Unheard. I'm looking at, yeah, we hit that one. Ultra Knight. Robert Smith is basically doing damage control for all the Hammer previews because of the controversy. I got to admit, I don't know why Robert Smith is being pulled in for everything. They have so many good touring pros. I thought they would get pulled in for more stuff, but it seems like it's been Robert Smith for everything. It's either Robert Smith or Bill O'Neill. You just kind of flip a coin of which one. Like, there's a lot of really awesome Brunswick pros who throw the ball so well. I'm a little surprised to not see more of them involved. Like, we haven't seen a Jacob Buttroff sighting in years on a Brunswick video. I don't even know what company he's technically with now because he's not with C300 because they're, of course, not PBA sponsored. He'll wear Brunswick or Hammer. A Kevin Williams. Packy, I don't know why Packy's not involved more. He's one of the largest content creators in bowling in the world. So it's a little odd that Robert Smith is on there. I'm guessing it's for nostalgia. They probably looked at the demographics of who's buying their stuff right now. Might be an older demographic, so they're trying to hit some of the older guys. But then I thought Parker would get involved, Parker Bone, but I don't know. It's very odd. But they are lefties. True, I forget that a lot of staffers for Brunswick are lefty. I named a lot of them. But still, I thought they'd still have like maybe some lefties and righties. I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting. A little odd. Hybrids are highly neural divergent. Will you show on Bowlers Network be live and take questions? No, it will not be it'll be live, but it will not be a Q&A. So I'll get into that quick. So Bowlers Network is an awesome channel that's starting. They have a website where they're trying to bring a lot of areas of bowling together, tournaments, leagues, kind of like a pin pals. They have everything in one is what they're trying to make a one-stop shop for bowling apps. They have 1 billion professional bowlers behind them. They've got Pete Weber, Norm Duke, Chris and Linda Barnes just signed up with them. Tom Hess just signed up with them. Ashley Galante signed up with them. There's many more. Marshall Kent's involved. There's a lot of pros that are involved with those guys. And I will be with them hosting a daily show with Carolyn Doran Ballard and the creator of Bowlers Network, Jay Fettig. So it will be a live show, but we are going into it with like a pardon the interruption type take where we'll have like a couple main topics we want to hit and we'll just throw it back and forth, throw the mic back and forth to give our takes on whatever that topic is. So for a little bit of a teaser, one of them today was actually the radical controversy, which was kind of funny. So Carolyn did some homework on that one. But yeah, that is what it'll be. So there'll be no questions like we do here, but it will be talking about just things in the bowling world. DeGotis, be expecting an ion symmetric and a level 2.0. Nice. Let's see. Johnny, I have a Black Widow 3.0 and a perfect mindset. Should I get rid of one of them? I don't throw them. If you don't throw a ball, yeah, then you absolutely can. I think the Black Widow is a better ball. The mindset series is a little weird. It was good for some people, but a little weird. Eric, where can you see the Jackal line going with the new core from the Apex? I guarantee it's going to be a hybrid up next. We will probably get a new solid next year, probably in 2027 January. So I'd say a hybrid to replace the EJ Jackal would be the next one up, but we might not have a Jackal for quite a while. They might try to focus on the Venoms for the year and a couple things like that. Try to build off of the Evoke hype as well. Aaron, if they put something between the Mayhem and the Hysteria, toss the Ghost cover on it. Kai, would the new Mayhem be a good pure Envy replacement? Yeah, I think it could be. It'll be a little bit weaker, but I think it could be pretty close there. Let's see. Mike, want to replace a Summit Peak. What's the best replacement? Right now, there isn't a lot like the Summit Peak. I'd say the closest you get is a Phase 2 Pearl. It's going to be a little weaker than a Summit Peak, but I think it'll give you the same vibe. So that's going to be the best call. Let's see. Rich O2K. I was wondering how the Primal Ghost compares to the Shock. Stronger and earlier. I've had the 3 Venom Shocks crack. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Raymond, I only have 2. I only have Black Widows. Should I switch to the IMX 2-finger bowler? IMX. I don't know what that is. James just got the Black Widow Mania, second week, 710, attaboy. BDG, I separate my hybrids out by leaning pearl or solid. That is the perfect way to do it. That is a fantastic way to do it. Zay Bryant, G Bryant, what's going on, man? I know I'm late to the party, but I just got my Brunswick combat drill today. It's a freaking great ball. Yeah, I have a combat. I was hoping to throw it in league tomorrow, but my Discord decided otherwise, and they want me to bring a couple other pieces. But I did drill it. It's a lot smoother than I thought, but it does feel very EVOKE Hysteria-esque, which is good. I don't know how it's doing. I'm guessing it's going to be on sale sometime soon, be my guess. Steven throwing the stealth mode and love it. Should I add a Spartan or Vengeance for a step up? Definitely the Spartan. The Vengeance is going to be like right on top of where the stealth mode is. Very, very close. And Chris over on Facebook, how different is the Mayhem from the Jackal Ghost? It's going to be weaker down lane. I don't know. It might be a little close. I think the Ghost might be just a little bit sharper, but it's definitely going to be weaker than a Ghost. And Sean, any advice on full roller and what layout or ball selection to use? So full roller, it's as long as your stuff is getting drilled the right way, you're okay with everything else. Like every other ball is going to be normal for you as long as it's drilled properly. So make sure your pro shop is drilling things well, because that's a big piece. Hey, we have JR Pro Shop hopping in. What's going on, Barks? Drill baby drill day. No plugging yet. Hey, that was me on Tuesday as well. We had a lot of drill stuff to do. That was always fun. Buddies, picking up my Origin tomorrow. Thanks for the help on the layout. Absolutely, man. I hope you like it. I love the Origin. I think it's an awesome piece. I want to throw it more, in all honesty. Mills, oh yeah, we hit that one. Talon, what's going on, man? Hopping in the YouTube chat. Alex James, what do you make of the shiny solid trend? So the shiny solid trend is there because lane surfaces are getting a little bit older and older and older, and there isn't enough oil to compensate for it. So a lot of those big, strong, dull solids aren't as useful. So you're seeing a lot less dull bowling balls coming out, a lot more in that like shiny-ish trend. Like if we look at my bowling ball database, I think I have our number of shiny versus dull, right? Yeah. So like right now, Motive has 62% of their stuff is shiny and Brunswick is 60%. Now Storm is only 53% of their stuff is shiny. So yeah, over 50% of the bowling balls on the market, about 58, 59% are all shiny bowling balls. So I think it's because of that. And also shiny bowling balls tend to sell better than dull bowling balls. It's just a really good shelf appeal thing. So if you're in a pro shop, people are going to gravitate towards the shiny one compared to the dull one. Celtic, I have to go to a rehearsal, but thanks for answering. Absolutely, man. I hope you enjoy watching afterwards. Llama, what's up? How does the Black Hammer compare to the Crown? Weaker. It's going to be a bit weaker. The Crown flares a ton, or not a ton, but it flares a lot for a urethane ball. So it's going to be a weaker ball in general. I don't know if it'll be more angular. It's going to be still super continuous. The Black Hammer is still the best 78 hardness ball in the market by miles. But the Crown seems like a good niche option. I don't know how it's going to do on tour. I'm very curious in a couple of weeks if people actually throw it. Hunter, thank you for the follow. And Dan, thank you for the follow over on TikTok. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Noah G, opinion on the new 2.0. It's good. It's fine. It's a urethane-like bowling ball. Nothing too crazy out of it, in all honesty. Casey, in your Spartan versus Onyx TikTok, the Spartan was earlier overall. No, it was no, the Onyx was definitely trying to pick up earlier by far. No, the Spartan was a little bit later, and that was off of like multiple games as well. I tried getting the three clips that were kind of in the same realm of the lane, but no, the Spartan is overall a bit cleaner. It's very smooth down lane, no matter what. Like out of box, it was super smooth, way too smooth. When I shined it up a little bit to like 3000 grit, it was a little bit better. It wanted to finish a little more down lane, but it still wasn't angular by any means. Where that Onyx just wants to hook the minute it touches the lane no matter what. Hunter Lay, I'm a senior this year. I'm borrowing a buddy's ball. I do pretty good with it, but should I go with the same ball since I know I do good with it? I would recommend it. If you know you like it, yeah, buy that one as your first ball. Might as well. And also, Paul, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate it, man. Diesel, Phase 2, or Ion Max? It depends what you want it for. Ion Max is one of the best super strong balls on the market today. Phase 2 is the GOAT medium smooth bowling ball on the market. So if you want something that's more versatile, Phase 2. If you want something super, super strong, Ion Max. Wayne Jr., what's going on, man? Let's see. We are at, I did see there's a $5 super chat from Ron the Gamer. Ron, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it, man. I have the Dark Code and the Altered Reality. I want to get a 3-ball arsenal. Replace my 2-ball. What should I get? I am speed dominant and a 2-hander. I'm a Dark Code and an Altered. I want a 3-ball arsenal. Replace my 2-ball. What should I get? Those two are fairly close together, Dark Code and Altered Reality. So I would get something that's very different from those, especially as a 2-hander. Get something symmetrical in there, maybe a solid even. Maybe go with a Cove, which is a hybrid, but a lot smoother. You could go with like a Phase 2 Pearl if you want something a bit weaker. I think those would be good options for you. Just try to stay away from that ASIM shiny range because you have 2 balls in that same exact spot. Tyran, not kidding. That 800 lineup, Vengeance, Viking, Cove, Ember. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could tell Global is trying to like make an arsenal on their own with what they have right now, which is good. 3 of those balls are okay. The Ember is not. I won't be recommending the Ember anytime soon. Ralphie, are you blocked? No, man. You haven't commented anything in a minute, I don't think. Sorry, man. It might have gotten blocked by TikTok. TikTok has auto filters in place if you say anything that the algorithm thinks is bad. Be aware of that. Beans, I have a Black Widow Mania, a 10-star S2, and an Arctic Vibe. Am I using too similar of bowling balls? No, I don't think so. I think you're pretty far apart, which is good. Should be good. Bennett, can you take a look at my page? Sorry, Bennett. I can after. I can't for a while, though. And watch out for the spamming, man. Geek, just drilled an OG Evoke. Boy, do I have the Mayhem itch. Hey, the OG Evoke was still good. I am still, like, fan number 1 of the original mode of Evoke. I think it was a great ball. 10 out of 10. People were a little bit hesitant on the colorway. I love the colorway. I love the super bright colors, but some people didn't agree with that. So I think it's a good ball yet. Super strong, super slow down lane. Mayhem is just going to be a bit quicker is really the big difference. And different colorway. Do you think Viking could work on PBA Salvino? The Viking can work on a lot of spots. I think it's a pretty versatile ball, but it's going to have to be a transition ball for sure. Let's see. Lindy. I just started bowling after 40 years in October. I started with a used hammer raw, a pink, purple, silver. I just got an amped. Thinking of getting an Equinox solid, slowly building. Yeah, I think that's a good option, especially if you're more speed dominant. Remember, if you're speed dominant, you're going to want some of those stronger bowling balls. And if you're rev dominant, you're going to want some of the weaker ones. We have a chart on our site of, on everywhere really, of rev dominant versus speed dominant, and to determine which one you are, as long as you know your rev rate and your ball speed off your hand, then you're good to go. And you can use apps like Lane Tracks to help you do that. Make sure to check out Lane Tracks if you haven't. iPhone only, but it's a tool that helps estimate what your speed off your hand and your rev rate is. It's kind of like Specto in your pocket is really what it is. Let's see. Let's keep our trucking. We got a lot of people hanging out. Thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. All of you hanging out on this brisk Wednesday night. So really appreciate all of you. Make sure to follow or subscribe if you haven't. We have a lot of really fun things coming this week. I want to emphasize tomorrow, we are going to have the all brand ball guide coming out, the all brand categorization guide. We have 100, I think it was 113 bowling balls maybe, or 109. A lot of bowling balls all on the same chart, all categorized against each other. So we'll have a YouTube video and it'll be on every single short form platform. So make sure to stay tuned for that. It's a crazy, crazy guide. It's very, very hectic on there because there's so many bowling balls. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking for that. So we did our best to kind of estimate what it would look like. There's going to be a lot of disagreements on it because a lot of people have not compared a lot of these bowling balls. For example, the Outer Limits Black Hole, nobody has really thrown much of. There's been like 2 reviews. Some of them are really late. And we haven't seen it, like, of course, against like a Jackalonics or against a Entity. Like I haven't seen a single comparison of the Outer Limits Black Hole against anything else. I have not seen anyone throw it against another bowling ball. I think Charles from the Hype might be the only one who has. So there's going to be a lot of those situations where there's going to be a little bit of disagreement and a little bit of guesstimating that had to happen. But overall, it should give you guys a really good idea of what bowling balls fit where and which bowling balls are a little bit too close together to warrant purchasing. So I really hope you guys enjoy that. That's coming tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time is when it's going to be out. Noah, are you American? Yeah, I am in Minnesota in the States. Lefty, my wife and I are going to pick up the new Evoke to replace our Odysseys. Nice. Good call. Good call. Yeah, I'll actually be grabbing an Evoke as well. I'm hoping to have it in the next couple of days. I purchased one, and luckily we can get it a little bit early through the pro shop. So no, Motive is not sending me anything. If you want them to, go talk to Motive. But unfortunately, we will not have the review up, of course, right when it got announced, but it should be up sometime in the next week or so. I plan on comparing it against a lot of other bowling ball brands. I don't have many Motive bowling balls, so I want to compare it against other things in the other brands to see what it looks like. Phase 2, for example, I think will be a fun comparison. But let's see. Tippett, I won a tournament in Palm Coast, Florida on Sunday. Congrats, man. Handicap senior singles on the tacket pattern. Walter Ray was bowling lefty now. He's always hurt, man. He's been hurt the last like 5 seasons. He's bowling two-handed because his thumb is messed up or his wrist is messed up. Now he's bowling lefty. Jeez. I love that he's still bowling, though. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. Noah, do many scratches affect the roll of the ball? It depends how deep the scratches are. The scratches aren't very deep on the ball, no problem. Let's see. Riley. Who was he? I want to get a new ball for my dad's birthday. Lefty 250, rev rate 13 to 14. He has an entity pearl, a radioactive vibe, a sensor, and a raw. He might like something like an effect tour. Effect tour or even a Brunswick alert might be really good for him as a lefty. I think that could be a good call. Andy Seabolt, I have a mesmerized Black Widow and a hustle rip. Yeah, you definitely want some kind of symmetrical balls. Absolutely. Tyran, zero validity lab, so unbiased. The asymmetrical becomes symmetrical. Oh, it's still the dumbest insult. It's so bad. Use ChatGPT to come up with something better. Spencer, what pearl ball should I get if I'm a rev dominant bowler? I think we hit this earlier, but a lot of different options, man. A lot weaker bowling balls are going to be your best friend. Russell, getting my transformer on Friday, but I got to try it. Are you putting it pin up or down? And Noah, does he read Twitch chat? Yes, I do, man. Maximum Bob. Yep. Let's see. JR, we hit. Hutchinson, going to get the Rockstar drilled. Should I go with Storm's benchmark layout as a two-hander? I think it's a good place to start all the time. I'm an advocate for just middle-of-the-road layouts. I don't think trick layouts are the best idea unless you're like a high-level tournament bowler or a PBA guy. I think just versatile layouts are generally just a better play. Let the ball do its thing, then you know all bowling balls are going to do something similar. 2 layouts is always plenty. Noah, we hit. K-Brew, they're lefties. Yep. Dreamin', I have a brand new Never Thrown Pure Envy. How does it compare to the Assault? Earlier. It's definitely going to be earlier and smoother than that guy. Ralphie, what should I add for 3-ball league arsenal? You have a hammer effect and a GB5 solid. If the GB5 solid is never too weak, then I would go with something in the medium sharp range, like a hammerhead pearl. If you want something stronger, go with a Zero Mercy solid. Larry Tripp, how do I set my arsenal? So on all of my arsenal rating videos, I have a link in the description that you can use to send in your arsenal, to submit it through a Google form. That is the best way to do it. JR, nothing wrong with the Brunswick lefty crew. Every lefty is with Brunswick. It's unless your name's Jesper. Every single one is a Brunswick guy. Stupid purple ball. Billy M, what's going on? Chubbs, Robert Smith is my local shop. That's awesome. There's a couple of you guys that go there. Chesterfield, what's going on? Tyran, been seeing the Next Factor scream into pins for rev dominant guys. Yeah, that ball gets far enough down lane, so the Next Factor is a great rev dominant ball. Don't get it if you're speed dominant. It's not a good play if you're a speed dominant guy. It just doesn't hook enough. Sealance, what's the radical controversy? They just were being jerks and bullies on their podcast, as they are. Nolasco, bold arrival and found out he used polish for a car and buffed it with a machine. The Mania looks super shiny. Is that legal? I think so. I don't know, though. Polish, I don't know the rules on. I mean, if he shot 837, good for him. I don't think that gives him an advantage. I think that's stupid to use, like, car wax. That just makes it insanely shiny. I wouldn't. That's one, like, there's a lot of bowling rules that don't actually affect scores. You don't have to worry about those. If he shot 837, he threw it really, really good, and that ball is not better than it would have been with just regular bowling polish on it. Good for him. It's a big set. Halston, thank you for the follow, man. Polish Eagle, hopefully better than the Jackal. The Jackal was fairly well liked by a lot of people, which was good. Mitch Man, will the show be available like a podcast? Yes, they should be live for a while on there. Should be live for a while. Jeremy Fallon, if a pro shop I use drilled partially in my pin, is the ball at risk of cracking? No, if you drill into the pin, it's not a big deal. It just means if you sell it, you won't know where the pin is. So it's okay to drill into the pin. Some companies have some rules. I know Brunswick, you're A-okay with drilling near the pin or in the pin. Storm, it might void a warranty, and Motive as well, but I'm not entirely positive. Not entirely positive on that. Let's see. Gunny Cod, for a fresh ball, Transformer or Vengeance? If you want it for the fresh, go Vengeance. Transformer almost acts like more of a transition ball right now because of how shiny it is out of box. And Halston, I just got my Equinox to pair with my Arctic Vibe. How do you think they'll pair together? I think that'll be good. Like, you start with the Equinox and you go down to the Vibe if you want to play a little bit straighter with that Vibe. The Vibe doesn't like covering a lot of boards, though. That's the one issue. That's the one issue with that. Dominic, thank you for the follow, man. Jeremy Hatcher, opinions on sanded pearls. Sanded pearls, a lot of tournament guys like because they do better to be smoother. Like, a lot of pearls out of box are way too angular. Like, I just drilled an RST Hyperdrive pearl. That ball was very quick out of box. I'm tempted to take the polish off, but I haven't quite yet. I'm going to try it at league tomorrow before I decide. But a lot of people take the polish off immediately just because the ball's too angular. So if you're someone with a lot of axis rotation, taking that polish off is generally a good idea. So it's not really then it's like it's sanded, but it's more just a little more dull than it is. Because the reason polish is used on so much is it does make a ball look really good on the shelf, like I said earlier. So don't be worried about changing the surface. You can remake any factory surface. It's not insanely difficult to do. You can get close enough. Shane, thank you for the follow, man. And Sweet, thank you for the follow. Matthew, the Viking is a hybrid. Is it more pearl or solid? Definitely more like a pearl ball. Definitely more like a smoother pearl. Mills, I'm the only bowler I know with a combat. Oh, dude, I know. I've seen that ball maybe twice in the public, like twice in the wild. It's crazy. There's a lot of Brunswick bowling balls that just get beautifully ignored. Not beautifully, but crazily ignored, I should say. That is one of them that's been ignored for a while. Criterion Hybrid was another one that got discontinued that nobody cared about. Ben, how close are the Identity and Theorem Hybrid? Identity is a lot quicker. Similar like reaction when they hit, or similar length, but the Identity is quicker. Car Kilo just started bowling in June and you have 10 bowling balls? You're welcome. You are welcome, man. All right, let's see. Professor, I never attended a PBA event, so I have no idea how it works, but do you think I have a chance of getting a few Pro Bowler signatures? 100%. They love giving out signatures, as long as they're not bowling at the time. Don't ask them when they're bowling. That's a bit rude, but ask them like before and after, kind of like a regular sports game where like you don't get signatures from a basketball player at halftime. You get it either before the game, in the pregame, or in the postgame. So same thing with bowling. The CEO likes his crown. Ron has liked almost every bowling ball he's thrown for the last 2 years. Minus the Apex Jackal, he has liked pretty much every ball. So that's kind of the hard thing with the review market is like a lot of people want more honest reviews and like people who are more lukewarm or negative towards the ball. But the reason they don't is, for example, my 2 most disliked videos on my channel's history are 2 videos that are negative reviews of bowling balls. So to build growth, to get sales, like Ron has his own place that he sells bowling balls. He owns a pro shop. Creating the Difference technically sells bowling balls. You can't really, if you say negative things, you're not going to see sales increase. So you want to stay a little more positive on all of your ball reviews. And that's normal, of course. You see it with every single ball reviewer. They all have an affiliate link. They all have their own pro shop in the description, whatever it may be. It's just how it is. I mean, the most honest one is going to be Rosdahl. He has very often said like, this ball just doesn't match for me, and this is who it's not going to be good for. But you don't really get that anywhere else. Ball review market is severely broken. It's a very broken world, unfortunately. because of things like that. Little unfortunate there. And I know I usually get about 15 people to leave every time I say that, because usually it's saying something bad about their favorite creators. I'm sorry. Apologies. Luna, I just got my Guru Oracle today for my mystery ball. Seems like a strong ball. Yes, it is very strong. Pretty similar to an Ion Solid. No, it's going to be much earlier than an Ion Solid. Hey, Brooke, what's going on? Do you think the Zero Mercy Pearl would be a good ball? I'm severely speed dominant. You're not that speed dominant, are you? I didn't think you were. But if you want something for severely speed dominant, then yes. And Nerdy Bowler threw the first sanctioned 700 with a 701. Congratulations, man. That is super cool to hear. Congratulations, Nerdy. Let's see. Bledsoe, that's a world thing. Can't say the truth because someone will hold an or else over your head. And that's a problem too. Like, of course, every ball reviewer, they're able to do this stuff because they get the balls well before announcement day. Like, EVOKE Mayhems are probably in people's hands a week or two beforehand. The Brunswick balls are usually in a week or two beforehand. Like, they're going to stop getting those if there's negative stuff said, unfortunately. Well, I shouldn't say. I should backtrack that. That is not proven. If you say bad things, there has never been an actual fact or situation where somebody has publicly said, I said something bad about this ball and company ABC removed my contract entirely. That's never happened. But I think people fear that, is my guess. I don't know. I don't understand it. It is what it is, really. It is what it is. Let's see. Greg would like to replace my Origin EX. Anything similar? Ooh. There isn't much similar to an Origin EX, unfortunately. I would say, I think an Effect Tour is going to be kind of close. The difference is Origin EX was weak cover, strong core. Effect Tour is strong cover, weak core. If you want to stay with Storm, your best option is going to be a Rockstar, really. It's going to be the closest you can get. But that one's Origin EX is very unique. It's a very unique ball, so there isn't much like it right now. Let's see. Garrett, been with you since day one. Hey, thank you so much, Garrett. I know you absolutely have. You've been here a lot. So huge thank you for that one. Jonathan, Maximum Bob's my coach. Nice. That's awesome. Sealance. Yes, this is a bit of breaking news. Kimberly Pressler is no longer with the PBA. I don't know exactly the reason. I don't think she said it in her thing, but she is officially not with the PBA. So there'll be a new sideline reporter. And no, it is not me. I don't know who it is. I don't know if PBA will announce it anytime soon, but there is going to be a new sideline reporter. Unless PBA hasn't picked yet. I mean, Tom Clark has social media, guys. Just go spam him. I'm kidding. Do not spam Tom. But yeah, I'll be curious to see who they end up grabbing. I'll be very curious to see who ends up running the sideline show for the PBA. Hopefully it's someone really good. Hopefully it's someone with a lot of personality that the players get along with. That it's always the big thing. You notice a lot of sideline reporters in a lot of regular sports are usually really, really good at doing those quick interviews. So hopefully we can get something like that as well. But we'll see. We'll see. G. Bryant, what was the name of the Bowling Network app? Bowlers Network. Yeah, Bowlers Network. It is a desktop app or mobile. They don't have an actual application like phone app for it though. Gabriel, thinking I can force a Raptor Rain or Mayhem into my benchmark. It's tough to do that, even with a weak, because like the Evoke, there aren't many weak layouts you can put on asymmetrical balls. The ball's going to want to flare a ton. Raptor Rain is just way too strong. So I think they're going to be a little too hefty for you for that. For Kimberly's post, it seemed like it was just Lucky Strikes and Bolero's decision. I wouldn't go that far, Tarzan. I'll look up her thing just to see. All right, we're going to Reddit. He said, after 15 unforgettable seasons, my collaboration come to an end as Lucky Strikes moves in a different direction with honor talent. Oh, it was interesting. I would say that's more like PBA as well. I don't think Lucky Strikes has the most say in a lot of those decisions, or it could be a CW thing as well. So very interesting that, I don't know. I'll be curious to hear a full recap. I'm guessing a lot of the, well, there aren't many interviewing places for bowling, but I bet like a Jeff Riggles or someone is trying to hit up Kimberly to get more words on what's all going on. That'll be interesting. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it was her choice though. So I don't know. That's interesting. Very interesting. I'd love to hear more. I would always love to hear more. Tippett, which of these three do you think we'd be better off for a house shot? Rockstar Phase 2, Idle Solid, Rockstar. Definitely Rockstar. Big B, $35 a year for a 2-ball locker. Is that a pretty good deal? Yes. Yeah. I think locker deals are generally like people are getting spots for much cheaper. It's like a baby storage unit. So I think $35 for a year. I mean, divide that out. That's less than $3 a month. Pretty decent deal. Pretty decent deal. USA Venom Shock is definitely a benchmark. 100% it is. Yep. Goob is a Brunswick twist and a path. A good combo for a first-year bowler. Yeah, I would stick with those for a little bit to see how those go. Can we get rid of Randy? That was like the #1 comment from a lot of people. And I won't have much to say on it. I would love really good commentators for PBA. I think that's one thing that's held the PBA back for 20 years is just commentary is like trying to go for like those top 50% of bowlers. That is not who the PBA or who bowling needs to cater towards. Like it's good to, of course, have things that are for us as bowlers, but you got to bring in new people. And if you hear somebody talking, getting super deep about bowling, like sometimes those guys do, eyes glaze over. And that's the big problem. You want to bring in new people. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I watched the entire ball layout video. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed it. I put a lot of time into that layout video. If you guys remember, it was many months ago. I put out a layout video. It was like 35 minutes. It covered all 3 of the major layout guides of 2LS, VLS, and dual angle. It gave examples. It gave how to put that on a bowling ball, and it gave what all the numbers mean in each one. So it's a very, very long video. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know there's a lot of views on it. I think it's like 12,000 views or so. So really appreciate that. Even needs commentary on rotation. Absolutely. I think that would help. If you get good people. It's always hard to get good people. Because like for PBA, you can't really get a lot of pros because they're bowling. So you can't always guarantee. And some of them just are not good commentators. Some of them are really good. Like Chris Barnes has always been great. I know when Packy was on, he was really good. But there was a lot who just were... It was not as good. It was a little tougher. And there's a lot of guys who just aren't good in front of a camera. A lot of professional athletes in anything could not be commentators, could not be coaches, whatever it may be. That's how it is. Steph, I like the stream. Thank you, Steph. Appreciate it. Colin, yep, all brands. Every single one of them. Gonna be a lot. Let's see. We're caught up a little bit. Remember, if I miss your comment, make sure to just re-enter it in the chat. There's a lot of comments coming in. I'm about 15 minutes behind on them. So if I do miss it, make sure to just re-enter it and I'll try to hit it again. Jerry Mars sighting. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Daniel Cunningham. Any tips for Owatonna for the state tournament? All pair-to-pair dependent. That building and Faribault are insanely pair-to-pair dependent. So if you get if you get a pair on the low side of the house in Faribault, you're good to go. If you get it on the high side, good luck. Good luck. It kind of sucks. Owatonna, if you get it on the low side, they're going to hook a lot, but the pins are going to fly around a lot. If you get it on the right side of the house, it's going to hook less, but some lanes the gutter hooks, some lanes the gutter doesn't. So it's all hit or miss depending on where you're at. Let's see. Lincoln Dots. Good morning from Singapore. Hey, welcome in, man. Welcome in. Garrett, I'm with you since day one. Being pretty critical of those two. If you're going to dish it out, you got to be able to take it. 100%. Yeah. I actually had somebody in the bowling space, a pretty high up, call me to compliment me on how I handled that situation and called those guys bullies. So that was cool to see. It was like, way to not let those bullies like let you back into a corner. So that was kind of nice. Very cool to hear. There's others who feel the same way about that odd, unfortunately. But anyways, we're not digging into them again. They've already gotten too much attention. Phil, can you please give me a dual angle layout for control on the second league burn condition? One hand righty, balanced. High road 40. 4 and 5 ace, very basic pin to pap. I would honestly go like we're dual angle, like a 40 by 4.5 by 40. Go super, super middle of the road. The high road has a pretty weak core, so I think that'll help out a little bit and you'll be fine. Fuzzy Bowls, why do people start with solids and then move to pearls? Is the goal to stay in your same line? Yeah, so solids are good with more oil, but once the front part of the lane starts burning up, that's when the solids start leaving a lot of flat 10 pins. And solid bowling balls generally don't like a lot of angle. Pearl balls do because they're sharper down lane. So that's why you need the pearl ball after your solids start to leave too many corners. So that's generally why the general idea is solids into pearls. Halston, how important is it for your pap to be a 1/2 inch off as a two-hander? Not that big of a deal. A 1/2 inch for your pin to pap isn't going to do anything remarkably different. So you're fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Billy M, what are your thoughts on the Mesmerize? Mesmerize was my favorite asymmetrical solid ball from Brunswick for a year. It was my favorite one by miles. So I think it's a great deal. I think it's awesome that that ball's going on sale. Tyran, Luke is the GOAT. Hey, Rosdahl is awesome. We will actually be bowling with Rosdahl in a couple of weeks. Couple of months. It'll be about 4 months in the Ozarks. Tori, X in the pit doesn't pull any punches on a lot of balls. They don't, but a lot of them are kind of wrong. Sorry, that's very blunt. But a lot of their ideas on like what are good bowling balls, the community strongly disagrees with. The track Cypher Pearl, they were like, this is the best ball ever. That ball got discontinued almost faster than anything else because sales were so low because people did not like that ball. So a lot of the balls they really like, generally the community doesn't. Like they hated the Ion Pro Solid, and you guys all voted that the Ion Pro Solid was the second best bowling ball of 2025. So that's my only issue with X in the pit. And that was and the reason is because they were on wood lanes. So a lot of their guys, they don't like the stuff that is better for synthetics with a little bit of oil. They liked more of the burn stuff, which is fine. But yeah, I get it. Makes sense. Yeah, I get where they're coming from. The more people we can have in the space, the better, though, because these disagreements are fine. That's a-okay. I agree. I disagree with X in the pit. I know they disagree with me on the Cypher Pearl, even though they didn't watch any of my channel, unfortunately, at the time. I think their answer to me when somebody said, yeah, ZVL hates that Cypher Pearl. He says it's not very good for a lot of people. And it isn't. It's long and super forward off the spot. And they're like, well, I don't know much about what that guy does. I don't know if he does ball reviews. I don't know what he is. But it's a good ball. It was like, oh man, sad. Let's see. Brian for the level 1 membership. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. C Lance, how'd you like my Indiana Jones pick? It was awesome, man. Jeremy, do you watch the USBC approved ball list? Saw a reference to a Gremlin tour. I have checked it out because a lot of viewers really like the approved ball list. The problem is Motive and Brunswick both do not put asked USB. Well, I know Brunswick for sure asked USBC, and Motive doesn't really appear on there early. They have asked USBC to not put things on the approved list until the ball is announced to try to hide these like early releases. Storm hasn't yet. So Storm had 4 new things pop on the market. Not sure which ones are domestic, not sure which ones are overseas quite yet. We'll find out probably in, and it's probably gonna be 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks until we find out what the Storm balls are. So we'll see. I also saw USBC and PWBA are ditching their Twitter accounts. It makes sense. Twitter's kind of a mess. It's kind of terrible right now. Not a good place. So I know I saw that, and I saw yeah, because somebody said that never mind, we won't go into that. Yeah, it's not because USBC is trying to hide. Like, they didn't have all that many Twitter followers, and they weren't posting much, so I don't blame them. I got rid of my Twitter a couple of years ago, and I never even thought about making one for this channel. I made every single other social media site, but Twitter's just a mess. It's a lot of bots. It's a lot of gross stuff. Like, it's just not good. It's just not a place that I feel like I could grow much on. So I understand. Chesterfield, I believe she said the TV people wanted to go in a different direction. Yep. Chubbs, who has the best benchmark ball? I would still say the phase 2 is still goated. I would still say the Alert is really good and the Venom Shock are really good. I would say Storm still wins, but Brunswick and Motive are right there. They all have amazing benchmarks. I think all the companies are incredible in their medium and smart, smooth categories. Medium and smart. Yes, that's the new category. All right. Well, we've made it about an hour and we haven't talked about one of the big things of the episode, and that is 2 big things. We haven't talked about the EVOKE Mayhem yet, very much, and we also have not talked about how to build a tournament bag. So I'm going to pause on comments for just a second. First of all, Motive EVOKE Mayhem. First of all, the greatest looking ball I have seen in a very long time. I very honestly, no shilling involved, I love the look of that Mayhem. It is a Max Thrill hybrid, but with pink on it. I think it looks super, super sick. It also looks really cool going down the lane. So I think just looks alone, that ball nailed it. Motive does a really good job with their colors. Like, a lot of their recent colorways have been really, really good, and I'm very happy about them. So, T-Rex, that is the EVOKE Mayhem. Motive EVOKE Mayhem. Now, a lot of people were surprised because it's a solid EVOKE, which we just had. However, the EVOKE Mayhem has a much weaker cover stock in the propulsion cover stock. Same exact cover that's on the Hysteria, just a solid version. So nothing too crazy there. Expected. Motive, unsurprisingly, is still trying to play off that EVOKE Hysteria hype. For good reason. That ball's still selling like crazy. They put that cover stock on the Nebula, or a cover stock like it on the Nebula, the Apex, and the Steel Forge. So there's now 5 bowling balls with that propulsion cover stock, I think. I can't remember if any of the weaker balls are as well, but I think it's a cool idea. They wanted to go with like a weaker solid that wasn't the Black Venom. I think that's a really cool idea. So overall, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty happy about the ball. It looks like it rolls good. Like I said, I like the EVOKE cover stock, or the EVOKE core, a lot. I think it's a really cool, like, middle of the road asymmetrical core. Not too strong, not too weak. It isn't going to hook at your toes, but isn't going to never hook either. I think that's going to be really cool. I'm very curious how it rolls for me. I haven't thrown an asymmetrical motive ball since my Jackal Onyx. I really like that ball. I have it shiny now because it's actually more dynamic than I expected. So I'm very curious to see what it does. It fits below an EVOKE, below a Jackal Onyx, but it's going to fit above a Hysteria, above a Primal Ghost, above a Venom Shock, things like that. That is where that is going to fit. So yeah, overall, I will have some videos of it hopefully soon. I think it was maybe going to come Friday, but we're going to get hit with like the coldest blast of weather Minnesota has seen in a couple of years on Friday. Everything's closing down already, so might not be Friday. It might be next Tuesday by the time I actually can throw it. But we'll see. I will be getting a video to you guys as soon as I possibly can. Mitch, man, the commentators need to dumb down bowling so newbies can get hooked. Exactly. 100%. Don Clifton, what's going on, man? How you doing? Tyran, also, I want to hit this one quick. He said, Meta has this business deal going to build channels on their backbone if you got a chunk of change to drop on it. So, yeah, being someone who's, like, happily posting on Facebook right now, and we have actually a handful of people watching from Facebook, that's where a lot of bowlers are, and Facebook and Instagram do very well with merging together to be able to post content. They do a good job at like promoting that stuff, and giving out some good money in the process as well. Like, for all transparency, my highest social media earning account is of course YouTube, but second is actually Facebook now. And I have 14,000 less followers on that compared to TikTok. So it's absolutely crazy how big Facebook's reach is. It's very cool. But yeah, I saw that comment come through, so I wanted to hit on that one. Kind of like the behind the scenes of like the social media game. And always, all questions are on the table, by the way. If you guys ever want to ask about like social media stuff as well, I always want to preface with that. I know there's some people here who probably want to be our aspiring content creators or just are curious on the space. I know I've always been curious on like the behind the scenes stuff. So if you ever want to hear more, never hesitate to reach out to me. Never hesitate to ask in a live stream or something as well. Tyran, now we need a Venom with that cover stock. Dude, it would not surprise me if they put this propulsion on a new Venom. It would not surprise me at all, in the slightest. Is the EVOKE Mayhem too close to the Zero Mercy Solid or the Black Widow Mania? No and no. It's going to be weaker than the Zero Mercy, but it's going to be stronger or earlier than the Mania. So I think it fits a good middle gap there. Storm is coming to Pennsylvania over the weekend. That's pretty cool. That's sick. Nebula Solid would be my dream ball. Oh, that'll 100% be coming. BGG, I've been a Facebook creator for 4 years, almost all on Facebook. It does well. They did a good job at making it like a place that creators want to be. Even though I'm still not the biggest Facebook guy, they did a good job with that, and that's where the bowling community is. But no, I'm excited for that Mayhem. More excited than I thought I would be for that Mayhem. I wasn't really sure when I saw that there was a new EVOKE coming. Like, I've liked the EVOKEs. I was like, they're trying to play off the Hysteria, which they 100% are, but a lot of people like it. So give the people what they want, really, is what it is. So I think that's a good idea. I think it'll be good. I'm excited for it. Hopefully I can talk more about it next week, next Wednesday, get into a little more detail on what it is. Andy's flashing the wedding ring. I know it's been a while, but congrats, man. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I have a, it's just a, it's not an actual one. It's a silicone one. It's kind of becoming more of a trend that the guys also wear like a pseudo engagement ring. So I'm trying it out and it's actually kind of nice. I like playing with it a lot. So that happens a bit. The storm you're getting is coming to you over the weekend. Oh, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm not excited for it. Not excited in the slightest. Andrew, someone buy my OG Evoke so I can buy a new one. Hey, a lot of Motive guys would love to buy the original Evoke. Motive guys love their old stuff. Absolutely. Old Motive balls sell better than anything. But with that, let's get into the second topic of today's live stream, which is how to build a tournament bag. So we are in tournament season. Association tournaments are coming up. State tournaments are coming up. I highly recommend you bowl both, by the way. It's easier to cash in those generally than you'd expect, and they're on easier patterns. So even if you're not a big tournament bowler, I recommend trying out your state tournament. And it's fun to always bowl in different events. USBC, state USBC boards usually do a really good job with these kinds of tournaments. So I always recommend it. It's good to support your local USBC to keep leagues running, to keep prize funds where they're at and all that jazz. But we're in that season and we're getting close to nationals. So how do you build a tournament bag compared to something like a league bag? Like we've had league for a while and building that bag is way different than building a tournament bag. The big one with tournament bags is if you're going to be on a harder oil pattern, it's always best to have smooth equipment. So if you're an aspiring tournament bowler, smoother equipment is going to be better than more angular stuff most of the time. On house shots, you never want stuff that's too smooth. House shots, you generally want to carry. You want to get strikes. You don't want to leave a lot of corner pins. Tournament shots, especially harder ones like nationals, you want to hit the pocket. Your goal is hit the pocket. That is goal one. If you strike, that's awesome. That's the next thing, but you want to be able to just not split. You want to just hit the pocket, leave 10 pins, leave 4 pins and strike. That's why urethane is always so good. Urethane has been goated for so long because it gives you that control and that ability just to smash the pocket 10 times a game. Are you going to carry all 10 times? Probably not. But you're going to hit the pocket 10 times, which is awesome. I always recommend those smoother bowling balls. That's where like that Brunswick Alert is going to come in really handy this tournament season. And I'm expecting to see a lot of it in the next couple of months. That is going to be great. I think Theorem Solid should still be doing well. I'm a little worried that ball's not doing great. I haven't seen it as much as I was hoping. That ball is a great option. From the Storm side, Equinox Solid is going to be great. I think the Vengeance is going to be a money tournament ball. I think that's going to be that super strong, super slow, like 1,000 grit bowling ball that you can kind of play that's going to be good on the fresh if you don't want to go like Ion Max or something as strong as that. Motive, you have the Raptor Rain. You have the new Evoke Mayhem, which might be a little quick down lane. You might have to go with like a Jackal Onyx or even a Lethal Venom. I'm not a big fan of the Lethal Venom anymore, but I think it's really good for tournament patterns. If you want to play a little straighter, it gives you control. That's one really big positive about it. So I think smooth stuff is always a good play. Like for me, for example, I always like to bring more smooth stuff to harder patterns than more angular stuff. Like for me, like if I'm going to a tournament, I know it's going to be like say 42 feet and super flat or something. I'll bring Ion Max. I'll bring Effect Tour. I'll probably bring my Rockstar, which is a little shinier right now. I'll bring an Ion Pro. Those are all coming in the bag no matter what because they're all very, very slow down lane and they're all going to give me a lot of pocket control. So if you're going into the tournament season, you're trying to pick up a new ball or two, looking towards nationals, looking towards state, things like that, you're going to want something a little bit smoother to be able to give you that control and not give you a lot of those splits, a lot of those Brooklyns, missing the head pin, things like that. So that's always a good place to be, good place to look at things. In my opinion, it's two different sports entirely, bowling on a house shot versus bowling on a tournament shot. So don't go into it with the same mentality because they are two different games, two radically different oil patterns. So go into it with the right mindset is always a big one that I go for. Let's see. Let's keep trucking. See if you guys had any questions on any of that stuff. I don't think so. Let me know if you have questions on building a tournament bag. That's my quick little, like, 2-minute spiel on it. So I think those are some of the better, like I mentioned, some of the better tournament tournament bowling balls that you can have right now. I think the Cove is a low-key banger for a lot of tournament stuff, and I think it's just kind of getting ignored because of the colorway, which is dumb because I think the colorway is really good. I just always like colorways that you guys hate, though. I don't know why. TV bowling thrives on rotation. We need us to be surprised weekly. Slap, nice meeting you on Saturday. How'd you bowl? Oh, not well. We were on lanes 13 and 14, and I found out that's where the hole was in the roof for that 1+ years time frame. I could never get the same reaction twice, no matter what I did. It was insane. I think I shot 600, 600. Let's see. Now, out of the GOAT benchmarks, which one has been around the longest? Oh, technically Venom Shock, actually. Venom Shock, then Phase 2. Venom Shock beat the Phase 2 by 2 years so far. 2 whole years. Let's see. I saw one really good question in here, but I don't remember where it went. Grandmaster Yoda. We need a tank blitz with the shadow cover. I could see it coming. If the shadow does well enough, I don't know if it is or not. Not really sure. Primal Scream. That's a callback. That is a huge callback. John, I'm trying to do that now. NWK, which one should I remove? Phase 2 Pearl, Gremlin, or Attention Star? I'd get rid of the Gremlin or Attention Star. One of those two I think needs to go. They're just a little too close together. PA State Open in State College area this year. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Good luck at that. State tournaments are always so fun. Mine is in my area for the first time ever, so it'll be really interesting to see how it goes. The bowling centers have a lot of different topography, so I'm a little worried about that. A little bit worried. Oh, here's a question I saw. Elizabeth Hughes, regarding the urethane debate, wouldn't putting surface on a plastic ball give you somewhat similar results? No, not even close. No, not even close. Because a plastic ball is going to deflect. So no matter what, like, you're going to see people who shoot really high with a plastic ball once in a while, but it doesn't give you the same consistencies that a urethane does. Because the reason urethanes were so good is because they were soft. Plastic balls are super, super, super hard. Like, if you measure the hardness of a plastic ball, it's 80 or higher, but a purple hammer is around 73 hardness out of box and then just gets softer over time. So that is, you're not going to have the continuation with a plastic ball that's sanded as you do with a urethane ball. So I do not recommend sanding plastic. I think it's a terrible idea. There's very few situations that's ever a good idea. But it won't be much for similarities. Talon, do you think putting polish on my Ascent would be a bad thing? No, I don't think so at all. I think that's a good idea, actually. Get a shiny solid in that Ascent. So big core, weak cover, put a little bit of polish on it. I think that could be pretty decent. I don't hate it. Purple hammer on the tour, hardness 5. Yeah, pretty much. Mr. Young with the $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Let me go read what the... Oh, no comment. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate the $10 super chat. It means the world. Thank you guys, everyone who supported today so far. I know, unfortunately, we don't have a giveaway. That was a one-time thing from Storm Bowling. Again, massive thank you to Storm Bowling. If you ever see any Storm Bowling people out in the wild, tell them thank you. So far, I've met only nice people over there, so they've been awesome. Love what they're doing. Love that they were willing to help out a content creator after I got smashed online for a day. So that was really cool to see. A huge thank you to those guys. Shark Boy, should I replace my Venom Shock with a Vengeance Solid? If you want a lot more hook, then yes. Callie, equipment knowledge is key for straight bowlers. Refresh, reset. Absolutely. Yofo, thanks for the cop and drop. Bought an Origin. Can't wait to drill it. Nice. That's awesome. Good luck, man. Good luck. Are there any speed dominant pros on the tour, or are they all rev dominant? Most PBA guys are going to be rev dominant. You're not going to see many speed dominant guys. Usually, it just, the way the tour is with how much oil there is and the game of bowling, you almost need to be rev dominant. A lot of those guys can become speed dominant with just a couple of physical changes. So if they want to, you can see Kevin McCune throw a 20 up the gutter, but in general, those guys' natural game is rev dominant because there's so much oil and they need to get deeper than everybody else at the tournament. So you're going to see them get pretty rev dominant. To Joe, how about building a bag for a 9-pin no tap? Oh no, there is a strategy to 9-pin no tap. That's where urethane's good because you want control. Bowling in a no tap tournament is like bowling on a tournament shot. You want to get 9. You want to just hit the pocket. If you 4-9 once or twice, if you 7-10 once or twice, really unfortunate. You just want to hit the pocket a lot. More angular stuff is actually bad on no tap compared to smoother stuff. So I always recommend smoother equipment for that. 100% of the time. Eddie Joe on TikTok. You have a Vengeance, Equinox Solid, and a Transformer, all of a place in the bag. They're a little too close, in my opinion. I think the Equinox Solid and the Vengeance are just a little too close. I think the Transformer is far enough, but if you have like a 12 ball bag, sure. But they all kind of fit in that same realm, so I don't recommend 3. Let's see. Brendan, what's a good ball to pair with my Hammerhead? Hammerhead Pearl. I think it's pretty good. Black Widow Mania, a couple of those. Hey, can you make a video on making a league versus tournament bag from Ab Girl? Yeah, I think what I kind of talked about there, I will be trying to make more of a video on it. I want to go into like my own personal like thoughts behind it, because you could see like when I'm making a bowl at Arsenal, like for tournaments, I'm just sitting in this chair, like looking at all my equipment, just trying to like go through in my head. All right, this is what the pattern is. This is what the lane center is. This is what I probably will start with, something around this range, but I need a couple options around it in case this ball doesn't look good. Well, then I need to go to this, then this, then this, because you're going to see a lot of tournament shots. I will never bring like my high road 40. Never going to show up unless it's like a very little amounts of oil. I just never get that low in the bag. I usually, the weakest I'll get is like a phase 2 Pearl or a Rockstar Amped. Maybe the new Hyperdrive Pearl that I just drilled out. I don't really get much weaker than that. And same on the solid side. I don't really get weaker than like an IQ Tour on sport shots. So like the Cove is usually the bottom of my bag, or the Ion Pro is like the weakest solid I get. Just generally how it is with harder patterns, just with how they break down. So I'll be making some videos soon more about that. Tyran, Vengeance made me do it with a $10 super chat. Thank you, man, for the $10 super chat. Hey, we appreciate Vengeance here. I think that was an awesome campaign that Storm did. That was really cool to see. That was awesome to see. Brandon Bone fits more rev dominance to me for some reason. Oh, yeah, he has a high rev rate. That's the thing. It's very hard to be speed dominant when you have a 450 rev rate. You just have to throw it so hard, and not many of those guys do. So that's just how it is. Stephen B, does a new Evoke fit in my bag with a Raptor Rain, Evoke Hysteria, Primal Rage, Venom Shock, Maxwell Pearl, and Solid? It'll fit pretty close to that Rain. It might be a little too close to the Rain, but if you drill it a little weaker, I think it could be a more angular option for you. Tristan Lacey on TikTok. I'm looking for a Storm Ball that is strong like an Ion Max, but hooks later. There isn't a whole lot, man. The Origin used to be that. Harsh Reality Pearl used to be that. Physics Blackout used to be that, but they don't really have anything there right now, unfortunately. I'm sorry. 2K Jameson, what do you think about the Ion Pro Solid? I love the Ion Pro Solid. I think it still is top 2 bowling ball on the market, like period. It was my number 2 ball of 2025. I think it's still a fantastic ball, especially a really good league shot ball. It just does all the right things a lot of the time. It's a little pricey, which is the one negative though. Tor from Norway, the Danish head coach from the national team told me to go 2-handed. Oh, blunt. Interesting. It's fair. The world's going that way. Mills dude, Transformer has a shape that people weren't expecting Origin EX to have, but didn't. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. The Transformer is what the EX wanted to be. Everyone thought the EX was going to be a lot sharper down lane, and it wasn't. Where this Transformer, people thought would be a lot smoother, and it's like, psych, this ball's pretty quick down lane. Ball's actually super quick. Jason with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Jason. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the great education and info. Thank you so much, man. That means a ton. Thank you for hopping in. Thank you for the super chat. Everybody here, thank you guys so much for hopping in. And you guys just being here and hanging out and talking bowling for 2 hours is always more than enough for this channel. Like, it's always awesome to see how many of you guys are willing to talk bowling like this so often. So thank you guys all who are here. Matt Novak. We hit Mr. Young, just bought all 3 on eBay for $90. That's crazy. That's crazy. eBay can be a hit or miss play sometimes. Miles, I have the Equinox Solid, Anger Solid, and IQ AI. What one can I add to these? I'd go a stronger ball. Go something stronger, like a stronger shiny. Rockstar Amped, Phase 2 Pearl. You have a little bit of everything. Black Widow Mania fits there as well. Things like that. Callie, Kevin McCune. No, Kevin McCune is not speed dominant. Nah. Kevin is Kevin's still rev dominant. He throws it hard, but he is more like he still has a 450, 475 rev rate one-handed. If we look at my chart, which is a culmination of a lot of other charts that have been made, what does he have to throw off his hand to be dominant? He would have to be throwing it 20, no. To be speed dominant, he'd have to be about 23 to 24 miles an hour off his hand. So he is not that quick. So it's very hard to be rev dominant with that high of a rev, or speed dominant with that high of a rev rate. Sorry. How about a Francois Lavoie compared to the rest of his competition? Oh, he's still a little more rev dominant. Just he has slower ball speed and a lower rev rate. So that's the thing. Like, somebody who's rev dominant doesn't mean they have a super high rev rate. It does. I mean, a lot of like older bowlers are rev dominant. The reason for it is because their rev rate just overpowers their speed. So that's where, like, I just closed my chart. Dang it. So, like, you can be rev dominant with a 300 rev rate, but you throw it 15 miles an hour off your hand. Or you throw it 150 rev rate, but you're 13 miles an hour off your hand. Like, you can be rev dominant and not have many revs. The old terms that were used were stroker, cranker, and tweener. I hated those phrases because they really don't tell you much. It was always like, oh, cranker is high rev rate, tweener is medium, stroker is low rev rate. Well, all low rev rates are not equal. You could throw it 22 miles an hour with a low rev rate or 12 miles an hour with a low rev rate, and you need very different bowling balls for those two people. So that's always a tough one. But also, $20 super chat from Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate the $20 super chat. Looks like you got a question about Nationals in Reno. You have a Black Widow Mania, Hyperdrive, Solid, and Pearl, Zen 25, and a Zero Mercy Solid. How many go to Reno? 6. Bring 6. Because, like, if you're flying there, and you have the options of bringing 3 or bringing 6. So I always recommend bringing 6. If you want to just bring 3, you can. In that case, I would go Zero Mercy Solid, Zen 25, and Hyperdrive. I think are going to be best. I think those are best. A little bit tougher. Control Shift T to open last tab. It wasn't a tab, though. It was a PDF. That was the problem. Chris Higgins, what's the best way to figure out what ball I should go with? Ready to level up? Yeah, a big one is whatever bowling ball you have, just shoot me a note of like what that ball is and what you're looking for. Does that ball hook too much? Not enough? What are you trying to pair with it is always the question, because you don't want to buy 2 bowling balls that are identical. It doesn't really get us anywhere. Yeah, Callie, Francois Lavaz is balanced. Bone fits more rev dominance. Absolutely. Yofo, what layouts do you recommend for an origin for a rev dominant two-handed? Weak. That origin hooks a lot, so make it a little weaker. Yofo, I have a pie. Would a gem be too close? No, I don't think so, actually. Actually, not at all. I did see a good question about bowling science. I don't know if he yelled at me or not. I think he did. Your chamois are sold out at DH Labs. They are, Mitch, man, because more are being created. I bought up all of my red and blue chamois because we're hosting the state tournament this year. So I'm going to have a lot of ZVL chamois at the state tournament, which is going to be cool. And then I have 2 new colorways coming, which are actually going to be older colorways that are coming back. So be ready for that. You think Ryan Barnes could be speed dominant? If he threw it like 3 miles an hour faster, yes. Hey, Jaybird, what's going on? Forgot you were live. Don't worry about it, man. I saw a really good comment in here that I want to hit. Oh, there it is. Mr. Young. This is a really good question. The video about the new 2.0 compared to the purple is a really good video. He sands it down to 180, then 360, and drills it pinned down. They're oil different by a board. So I think he showed a really good example of how you can make a lot of bowling balls look very similar to each other. I think it was a great video. Don't get me wrong. He did an awesome thing there. But if you put a lot of surface on it, the purple is still a more continuous bowling ball. The new 2.0 is still reactive. The purple hammer is not. The purple hammer is still better in all those situations, and it's been proven time after time. You cannot replace a purple with a new 2.0. I know there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, ban urethane because Brunswick is still going to kill it with the new 2.0. No, they will not. The NU bowling ball, the new blue, was hated on the PBA Tour. That ball did not do well because it is not urethane. It's more like a weak reactive ball. New 2.0 is stronger, which is good, but it still doesn't really fit it. If you put 360 grit on anything, it's going to act very, very similar. A lot of stuff when you get that low of surface, which I do not recommend 360 grit, by the way, it's going to act very similar. Now, if you are really in a pinch and you can't throw a purple hammer, sure, grab a new 2.0, whatever. But a purple will be better 10 times out of 10 compared to that new 2.0. So always a good thing to keep in mind is surface you can make any bowling ball look like anything. I was talking with somebody last week and I was talking about how I can make the Ion Max look like it is the greatest house shot ball under the sun, or I can make it look like it is the worst house shot ball under the sun, all because of whatever pattern we put out. I can make that Ion Max looks like it hooks at 20 feet or like it hooks at 55 feet. It all depends on the oil pattern. It all depends on surface and all that other stuff as well. So yeah, that is always a big thing to remember. Now, trying to throw no shade at Pinnell on that one. I think he did a really good, cool video yet doing that. I know he's a big advocate for like a lot of short pin and pin down, a lot of wonky layouts. But don't sell your purple to get a new 2.0. Throw your purple. It's better. It's always better. We had 2 super chats coming in, but though we got to go hit those quick. We have Antonio have an Ion Max that need 2 more for a 3-ball arsenal. If the Ion Max is working really well for you, I'd recommend like a Rockstar to go below it, but then I'd go to the right of it with like an Equinox or even an RST Hyperdrive Pearl, a little bit weaker, but I think that can be a good 1, 2, 3 combo. Something like that. And then we also had Johnny with a $5 super chat. Zach, should I use my league arsenal as my tournament arsenal? You can, yes. It depends what your options are. Don't think too much about like, I don't know. You can get too deep into the bowling game. You can get too deep into like what balls are going to be best for this situation. But you don't want to think too generally. Like maybe the options maybe depending on the tournament. Like if you're bowling nothing too flat, then you'll be okay. But if you're bowling stuff that's flatter, a league arsenal isn't going to be good because a league arsenal generally is going to have more angular equipment. But if those are all the bowling balls you have are what's in your league arsenal, yes, you have to bring all of them to your tournament, so that's not a big deal. So it's the same. So that is where I would go with all that stuff. All right. Talon, Viking. I think everyone needs a Viking unless they already have an Origin. No, I think those are 2 awesome bowling balls that do some pretty unique things. Enlighten me what's going on. Stop by to show some love. Hey, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you for hopping in. Jaden, thank you for the follow as well. Tor, Jackal Apex is medium sharp, not strong sharp. Yes, that one is getting a little bit of pushback because the Apex Jackal is so hit or miss is the reason. The Apex Jackal looks really good for the really rev dominant crowd. Looks awesome. Looks like a strong and sharp bowling ball. But for everybody else, it looks like a medium sharp ball because the ball doesn't hook. Because it's always fighting itself. The cover is so weak. The core is so strong. If you drill it pin up, it makes the core even stronger. And then it just kind of fights itself so hard that it's more of like a medium sharp ball. I might move it up in the future. I've seen more reports that it's acting more like it should, but I don't know if that's just staffers. There's a lot of motive staffers out there, or people who aren't staffers who post like they're staffers. And it gets a little bit tough in those situations because a lot of people just are not look at everything like it's the greatest ball ever created on social media. So that's the other tough thing. I need to see the Apex Jackal more in person, but I think a lot of people got scared of it because of all the reviews and all the negativity it was getting. So a little bit tough there. All right. I can see Barnesy has speed dominant. Yeah, he's not. He has a 520 rev rate. Like, that's the problem. He likes stronger and smoother stuff, but that's because he's a two-hander, not because he's speed dominant. He likes that kind of stuff because he can control it a lot better because his rev rate is so high. That's the thing that a lot of reactive stuff like showcases is that the higher rev rates, it's harder to control your bowling ball. So that's where the smoother stuff is going to be better. Flat patterns are the epitome of sport patterns. Flat patterns are the dumbest thing of all time, and flat patterns should not be used in bowling. That's my hottest take. I do not think a flat oil pattern, unless you're at the top pro level, actually showcases skill. I just don't really think it does. I think it showcases your ability to shoot spares, and I think it showcases your ability to hit the front pin. Because at all the flat tournaments I've ever bowled, it's the guy who can Brooklyn the most generally does really well. It's the guy who gets an accidental 260 because he Brooklyned 5 times and struck. Those are usually the ones who do really well on flat patterns. So flat patterns are just, they're so not great. They're so not great. You can find flat patterns more often in a house shot rather than length, which does remark. Oh, hold on. I got to reread that. Should I say flat pat? Yeah, you can find flat pattern resemblance more often in a house shot rather than length, which doesn't give good remarks for length. Yeah, no, I'm with you though on that. I'm 100% with you, Callie. Agreed. All right. Let's hit lefties. Lefty tournament bag versus righty tournament bag. So I talked about a righty. You want a lot of smooth stuff, but you do need transition stuff as a right-hander. You do need stuff that you're going to go to when the lanes start breaking down, because as a righty, 90% of the field is going to be righties. So things are going to break down. You need some angular equipment as well. You want to have a lot of smooth stuff for the qualifying block and for early game, but you are going to need some of those lower balls. You don't need to get as low as, like I said, a high road 40, but you are going to need the hyperdrive pearls, the Rockstar amped, Black Widow manias, things like that. As a lefty, you generally don't need that. Lefties, you generally are sticking with 1 to 2 bowling balls all day long, and you are camping. You are putting your tent pole into the ground, you are pitching a tent, and you are staying on that spot for pretty much most of the day with minor moves. Now, a lot of the time, that's urethane. A lot of the time, it's going to be really, really smooth equipment. I think some of the best lefty bowling balls of all time and some of the best tournament lefty balls, Effect Tour, IQ Tour, Envy Tour is always awesome. Alert. I think those are going to be really, really good lefty bowling balls. You don't need a lot of that angle. You don't need those super whippy angular bowling balls as a lefty. You're not usually getting that deep on the lane. It's good to have one just in case, but a lot of the time, like the best shiny balls I've seen from lefties, Zen. Zen was awesome because it isn't angular. Super, super smooth down lane. What were some other really good lefty bowling balls? I know a lot of them like some of the vibes because they're smoother. Arctic Vibe, for example. Trying to think of some Motive ones. Motive has just so much smooth equipment, like a Venom Shock. Black Venom is usually pretty decent. They usually, like, a lefty doesn't need a Nebula, for example. A lefty doesn't need a Crown Victory. It's just not needed. It's just, they need more smooth stuff. Zen Soul was a good lefty ball. Absolutely, Teddy Bear. 100%. Weird calling another person Teddy Bear on the internet, but here we are. But yeah, GB5, really good lefty ball as well. Fantastic. The angle, maybe not as much. Are you that guy on TikTok who says that the angle is the only ball he ever throws and he doesn't know grammar? I hope not. That dude's weird. He didn't like one of my comments once. David Jones, what is a good pearl to follow behind the Black Widow Tour V1? Ooh, that's a good question. High Road Solid, good lefty ball as well. Really good lefty ball because it's so smooth. Smoother bowling balls are generally better on it. Yep. Black Venom from your lefty friend. Absolutely. Tarzan, I really like that Lethal Venom. Falls into the Tour ASIMs. 100% it does. Lethal is like an Effect Tour, but a little smoother. David, I'll hit your question in just a second. But yeah, that's generally where you want to go as a lefty. You just want to kind of overload the smooth side of the arsenal. Make sure you have an option in case, like, somehow there's 20% lefties in the field or something, or you're following pairs with a lefty. Make sure you have your urethane. Make sure you have your smooth stuff. That's always going to be better. But David, hitting your comment of what is a good pearl to follow the Black Widow Tour? GB5 pearl, I think, is a good option. If you want a lot of kick down lane, Crown Victory. Otherwise, Dark Side could be good too if you want something super, super weak down lane. Not many lefties are on Motive staff. No, and there's a reason for that. One, all the lefties are on Brunswick staff because they can throw a purple hammer and the black hammer because they're the 2 best urethanes on the market. But 2, Motive generally doesn't fit with a lot of lefties games. Motive's game is you want to just hammer on the ball, really heavy ball roll, so low axis rotation. You can point it at the gutter and play some angle. Michael Davidson, AJ Johnson, EJ Tackett, really good examples. Ethan Fior with a huge rev rate. Like, those guys with super heavy ball rolls are always going to do really well with Motive. A lot of the lefties have not really liked it. A lot of the lefties, or a lot of, like, the finesse guys, haven't been the biggest fans of a lot of the Motive stuff on tour. Doesn't mean amateurs. Whole different game on amateur side. Tour, they usually have a very specific thing that they need to do. And that's why those guys are excelling so much, but other guys don't as much. Ooh, that was a lot of talking. This body armor is coming in clutch right now. Let's see. Callie, hammer black pearl for 10 pins. Impressive and expensive. True. $160 spare ball. I just got a new spare ball, by the way. The Platinum Mix. It is on the way. I think I deleted my note on it. If you guys remember, the Platinum Mix is the all silver mix. I told myself I wasn't going to buy another mix, but I thought I will just drill it better because I think my last one was actually with like a 4.5-inch pin on accident. So let me see. I did end up ordering it. Did I ever get it back? Yes, it has shipped. It is here on, drumroll please, accept those cookies. Tomorrow it's coming. Good. Let's hope it doesn't freeze. Great. Talon, I went minus 193 for 8 games with 2 missed makeables. What were you? Oh, I agree entirely. Throw the ball great. Are you talking about the Masters tournament, or was that something that you bowled like this past weekend? No, you were at the Kegel this weekend. You definitely didn't go 200 under for 8 there. I know that for a fact. Mr. Young, I really recommend the release and tilt video by Robert Smith, the way he simplifies it. Oh yeah, absolutely. Explaining axis tilt is one of the hardest things in bowling. I actually have found a good. I'm going to use my favorite Pokeball that we have sitting here. So axis rotation, say the ball. Wow, that's hard to straighten out. Say the ball is right here. Say it's rotating around this guy. Axis rotation is turning it this way. So instead of it rolling down the lane, say like you're at the pins, I'm at the foul line. 0 axis rotation, 90 degrees of axis rotation. Tilt is checking out the dot from here up. This is high axis tilt. This is no axis tilt, 0 axis tilt. So that determines your tilt. The more tilt you have, the farther the ball goes down lane. The more rotation you have, the more the ball goes down lane, the more angular it'll be. So yeah, always a good one. Camden, Mikey Tang just posted a good video on how to lay out a ball. I did see he just post that before we went live. I'll have to go check it out. I'll have to see how I know he's posted. He posts one every like 2 years or so. I think, but he only can focus on VLS. He isn't really asked to do dual angle because VLS is Storm system. So all the Storm staffers generally stick with VLS. Charmaine, is it okay to polish a Zero Mercy? Solid. I have not seen one polish, but I recommend it. I think it'll be good house shot ball then. It'll still be really strong, but I think it'll be good house shot ball yet. Let's see. Tarzan, like the Lethal Venom. What do you think about my layout on the Origin? 50, 4 1/4, 30. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty good. I actually like that a lot, G9. Clark, I think I'm one of the weird lefties that like shape. So you're probably playing super deep. So you play things more like a righty. And there's a very small amount of lefties that play like that. But it is always better to have a little bit of smoother stuff even then. Iran. Oh, Vibo. Yes, Vibo is a really good lefty ball. That was an awesome, awesome shiny lefty ball. Vito, speed dominant. You got the 2.0 hybrid, 35 by 5 by 30. Yeah, I think that should be okay. You'll have to play a little straighter with it, but I think it'll be fine. Oh, Talon. Yeah, you're talking about the Masters. Yeah, that's fair. Yep, the ball matters a lot. Eric, I went Fayball black, blue, red, burgundy hammer after the Blake hammer. Oh, boy. That's a throwback. That is an absolute throwback. Jason, what's a good bowling pro shop in the Rochester area? I don't think there are many in Rochester, but I'm just in Owatonna. So if you come over to Owatonna, that's actually the shop that I work at. Great place. Cub, I convinced you to get a Viking. Make sure to tell Storm that. No, I'm kidding. But that's awesome. I bet you'll like it. I think the Viking's a great ball. It got severely overlooked. Very disappointing. It'll probably get discontinued faster than it should, but I think it's a good ball. Good piece. Fishing Life, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. G-Man, what's a good 2026 ball from someone who throws 18 miles an hour? Lower rev rate, hitting second arrow. You're going to like a lot of the stronger stuff. You might like something like a Vengeance. You might like something like, I don't think a Dynasty as much. A Dynasty, more of a transition ball, maybe. There aren't really others that'll fit well for you there. For 2026 specifically. A lot of 2025 options. Alerts will be really good. Rockstar Amped, I think, is really good. Things like that. Brian, love my Viking. Absolutely. Tima, how does one get to the PBA? Honestly, it's actually very easy. You buy your PBA card and you're in the PBA, technically. So That technically bowling is one of the easier pro sports to get into, just like PGA, where you just have to buy your card. However, to get on the national tour, whole different story. To get on the national tour, what you have to do is you have to qualify for their pre-tournament qualifiers, which really you just have to be a PBA member and sign up for. And then you bowl like an 8-game tournament against the rest of the field to compete for like a handful of spots in the actual tournament. Once you make it to the actual tournament, then you get to bowl actually with the big dogs, and you have to try to make cuts. If you make enough cuts throughout the year, the next year you'll be on the exempt list, and you will actually be able to compete on the national tour. So it's a smaller process than usual, than other sports, but it's insanely hard because only 40-ish people get to be on that exemption list for the PBA tour. That's the very tough thing. And Daniel, thank you for the follow. Waniac, what's going on? Things are good. Steve, carry 200, buy your card, go get your rear handed to you for a year before sniffing the cut. Pretty much. Good way to put it. What are your thoughts on college bowling, Landon? I think college bowling is an awesome, awesome thing. I think it teaches you really well how to bowl as a team. I don't know if they do the best job at teaching you how to bowl as an individual, but that's not their job. Individual bowling is very different than team bowling, but I think it's still an amazing thing that is growing really, really fast. I think college bowling is an awesome atmosphere. You have the opportunity and it fits along with the school you want to go to for your education, because always put your education first. I sound like I'm 50 when I say that. I sound like I'm your parent, but it is true. Because like I said, it is incredibly hard to be a PBA touring pro. And even when you are, it is very hard to make a living doing it. A lot of those guys have other jobs of like owning a pro shop or coaching or extra things on the side, because there is not much money in the professional side unless you're in like those top 10 bowlers. Like I think last year EJ made like $300,000. So he's doing fine. But it's the other guys, like the guys who are in 30th to 50th who need those extra things. That's why a lot of people quit the tour, is because it is very hard to make a living. So with that, make sure to go to a school that actually is a good school. Unfortunately, with men's college bowling, a lot of the college teams aren't at the best schools, which is a little unfortunate. Like you always want to go for your school, but a lot of the really good schools don't have a very good, like they don't have bowling. It's unfortunate. I did hear a school near me, the University of Minnesota, might have a bowling team soon, which would be really cool. So I might be working with them sometime soon. Hopefully. I got to answer back a couple DMs. I'm terrible at DMs right now. Apologies. Because you are 50. Shut up. Shut up, man. Jerk. RJ, I love to use short pins on layouts, but mostly on ASIMs. I always recommend, if you're going to use short pin, I don't like short pin. It rolls really poorly for me, but if you want to use it, I'd recommend it on super strong symmetrical balls or asymmetrical. So things like Stealth Mode, a Vengeance, a Raptor Rain. You want a symmetrical ball. Asim, I'd go like Theorem Solid or not Raptor Rain, Evoke Mayhem even. Something like Equinox Solid, things like that. Do not do it on a transformer at all. UTSA in San Antonio has a bowling team and is a great school. Yeah, there are a couple, 100%. There are schools that are good, but unfortunately, like there's a lot of schools out there that have bowling teams that are not good education programs. Like there are some out there, 100%. I won't disagree with you on that. There's some incredible schools, especially on the women's side. There are incredible schools that they go to. But the men's side, there's a couple, like some of the better schools are not actually good education programs. I know like Weber is a good example where like they're an incredible bowling school all the time. They aren't the best college. They're usually ranked pretty low in national rankings for like actual education and classes and programs and success rate and higher rate and all that stuff. They're usually not the highest, especially for a Florida school. So win some, you lose some. Jaden, do you know anything about the high school teams right now? High school bowling is different across the nation because some states it's actually a sport. Some states it's not. So if it is actually seen as a high school sport, they have their own season, and even the club ones have their own season, but it all depends on where you're at. Some high school programs, you bowl on challenge shots. Some of them you bowl on house shots. It's all over the place. And there's sometimes multiple seasons, and it's all types of all over. All types of all over. Andres, thinking of getting an Arctic Vibe for a starter ball. Great option. Great option. The one in Alabama, it's a club. Yeah, that's where a lot of places it'll be a club. The schools that actually get a little bit of kickback for their bowling programs or have well-established bowling programs, it isn't in Alabama. It's more of the smaller schools. Yeah, Brian here, it's a club. Yep. And on the men's side, it can't be an NCAA sport. It is not quite yet. The women's side, it is. I ran today's adult beverage is Kraken Dark Rum on root beer. Root beer float, nice. Let's see. Noah, what are your thoughts on the danger zones? Danger zones are really good. The solid one is incredible. The pearl one is okay. It's a good, weak, cheap bowling ball. They're a lot of bang for your buck. Some of the best bang for your bucks in bowling right now. Waniac, I'm jumping in head first. Bowling the Masters. Ooh, you got in. I tried signing up and I didn't get in. Yeah, do what I cannot do. Good luck. Now, it's a fun tournament, it seems like. You were top 8 in state too? Nice. That's awesome. Super cool. Let's see. Dylan, bag as a two-hander. You have Hysteria, Phase 2, Hustle Pow. I forgot about that one. Hustle X-Ray, Radical Rattler, and a Pitch Black. Honestly, not bad. I think some kind of shiny symmetrical ball will be a good play for you next. Something like a Phase 2 Pearl, Rockstar Amped, Crown Victory, GB5 Pearl, Nebula, things like that will be a good play for you. Things will be good in that regard. But I haven't said this in a while, so first of all, thank you everybody who's hopping in right now. Second of all, make sure to follow or subscribe if you haven't. We have a lot of awesome content coming to the channel. We have a daily show, which is going to actually be 3 times a week, starting on Bowlers Network with Carolyn Doran Ballard. Some of you might know, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest women's bowlers of all time. ESPN analyst for a while for bowling stuff. So we have a daily show with her. We have our own website launching sometime soon. So stay tuned for that. We have our own ZVL Bowling website where we're going to have all of the charts and graphs you can imagine. It's not going to be very well made because it's made by yours truly, but it's gonna grow in due time. So don't worry about that. We have a couple sponsorships and partnerships that might be coming up very soon. So a lot of really good things coming up for the channel that are going to benefit you guys a lot. So make sure to subscribe and follow to stay up to date on some of the latest and greatest bowling news, knowledge, etc., etc. And if there's any topics you guys ever want to see for the channel, if you want to see short videos, long videos, whatever it may be, please let me know. I am an open book. I am here for you guys. So if there's ever topics you want to see, always let me know. That's always the best thing you can do. Jason, do they have a 13-pound inventory? I'll see you on Friday if they do. Not really. No, we have a couple 14s, but otherwise 14s and 15s are really all we've got. Cameron, when is the Brunswick 2026 ball guide coming out? Well, tomorrow's going to be our all ball arsenal guide first. And then after that, we are going to be putting out the Brunswick only guide. And then we are also going to have a hammer only guide. I had a lot of people, kind of surprisingly, but not, ask for a hammer only ball guide. So I'm going to have the all ball guide come out. I'm going to have the Brunswick all guide come out. And then I'm going to have a hammer specific ball guide come out. There's going to be a lot of different ball guides. And then whenever the next equipment gets announced, we're going to have another new one. So Motive, we're going to have another one coming soon with the EVOKE Mayhem. It'll probably be sometime in early February before the Mayhem comes out. That will add that to the list. We're kind of waiting to see if there's any new discontinued news or not. We haven't had any in a while. The Level was recently discontinued. I didn't make a video because it was just a singular ball that got discontinued. But the Level is gone. But otherwise, I haven't heard of anything else for a while. Hammer guys are loyal. They are. They absolutely are. I was a little bit surprised because it's on the Brunswick guide, but I get it. I get it. I want to deep dive on why Bolero sucks. That is unfortunately not the channel that I'm making. I don't really post this thing sucks type content. I don't think that actually grows our sport. I think that's actually bad for the space. Channels that just dig and attack on things like that. So I will not be making anything like that. I know One-Handed Bowler has a full 2-part series that got popped off on views just complaining about Bolero the whole time. So if you want to listen to that, you absolutely can, but I will not be making content like him because I don't think the negativity actually grows anything. I just don't think it actually benefits anybody. It just makes people angry. And the last thing we need in bowling is more anger because there's already plenty of it, as I've run into for the last couple of months. So just mad at Bolero right now with those lanes the last weekend. Yeah, and that's unfortunately going to happen. I always recommend the best way to change that kind of stuff is to try to like get close to your manager, the bowling managers, the staff, whoever it may be. Because people, if you're at a bowling alley a lot, you'll get close to the staff, you'll get close to the managers. That's the best way to figure out what's going on and even help teach them. Like in my home center, when I got here, the manager knew nothing about bowling. He didn't know about oil, he didn't know about any of that stuff. So we actually stepped in, got close with him, and then helped him out. And we actually improved the center pretty dramatically by having the center and the patterns all be really good. So a lot of people just don't know bowling who are in those realms, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Like, they're there to be managers of people. Doesn't mean that they're going to know bowling that well. So it's always good to get close to those guys is always the best way to fix it. Like that, for example, solution is what some of these, why those negativity videos you'll never see from me, because if there is anything negative, it needs a solution. If you're not going to have a solution for any kind of negative stuff, it doesn't get us anywhere. Then you're just trying to garner views, and that's scummy. PJ became a member. Thank you so much, PJ. Really appreciate it. I got to stop being so blunt sometimes on these streams. Like, I got to realize that there's a lot of people watching, and some people, like other creators, might not like it, but I think you guys deserve honesty and truth and bluntness. So apologies, but that is my opinions on it. Yeah, almost good. It was it's a guy on YouTube who has popped off lately, but he's kind of garnered towards like making he made, what did he do? He said Bolero is bad. He said PBA sucks, USB-C sucks, string pins suck. He made a video on why reactive balls suck and USB-C sucks because urethane is really good and everyone should throw urethane. It's a lot of negative stuff. USB-C sucks in his last one again. There's never any solutions. So if he's listening, I have an Instagram message to you. Please answer it, buddy. I really appreciate it. But otherwise, try to have solutions. Try to make solutions. And that's in every day-to-day stuff. We're going life lessons with Zach. If there's anything negative and sucky going on, offer solutions while you're complaining. It's always a good way to try to fix things. I got to do better on that as well, personally. Like, I'm good at complaining. I'm not good with solutions. I've tried to be a lot better on this channel about that. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Tori, getting back to the bowling side, could you add a video, or could you add to a video a quick 6-ball lefty league arsenal for us? Yes, I have that on. Do I have that on my to-do list? I had it on my to-do list. I will re-add it. Yeah, I'll re-add it to my to-do list. I'll be curious what the viewership of that is. Like, that'll be very interesting. Did Joe one hand? He also had a video about how house shots need to be difficult, and that's the worst take ever. That's such a sweep the rack take. I don't know. I don't know why people think that house shot, like good house shot bowlers, need to get humbled. They don't at all. I think it's awesome. I think it's good if someone can average 240 on house. That's great. They're a top 3% bowler in the world. Like, deserved. Daniel, my house shot is difficult. And that always kind of sucks if your house shot's difficult when a lot of them are easier. Because I always think making a house shot is an art. Like, making a really easy house shot is so hard to do. So it's always kudos, 1, to the lane men and the managers when they can make an easy house shot. But 2, you got to be good to average 240. I don't know why the recent trend of like house shots need to be hard, bowlers need to get humbled. We need to go back to the 60s. Like, that isn't really it. Yeah, 44 feet, 6-1 is insane, almost good. That's crazy. That's a crazy hard pattern. It's not, I shouldn't say hard, but it's more difficult than a house shot. Tyran, I think it's be able to see the strings that weirds me out. And the thing with string, like, don't knock it till you try it is always my mentality on that. I was actually like very happy when I bowled on string and actually talked to the owner of a center who put in string and his reasonings for it. So I think that was really cool. Brian, my Bolero has had the same shot 13 years ago when it was a Brunswick. Hope they don't change it. Hey, that's huge then. Yeah, and sure they should in scratch leagues. Leave us handicap bowlers alone. 100%. Like, yeah, absolutely. Tori, I didn't mean a whole video. Oh, no, I'm making a whole video for lefties, Tori. I've wanted to do that for a while. It's just always slipped my mind. So, no, don't worry about that. I do want to make a lefty video explaining why the left is different from the right. I think a lot of people don't know that they're different. So I want to get into the details of like why the left side of the lane is so different than the right side. Yofo channel is great. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. You don't need giveaway prizes to keep people viewing. No, and that's the coolest thing. Like, thank you guys so much. I know there's a comment today about how I don't know if it was how I'm copying or whatever for doing giveaways, but giveaways are a nice thing to do, but they also bring in the wrong group of people. I had somebody on my Discord last week. Like, I wonder if I'll even know the 3 people that won giveaways last week. And luckily I did. They were all longtime members. But usually whenever you mention the word giveaway, then you have like all of the bots and the people who are like, I want free stuff to jump into it. Luke had a really good breakdown on lefty righty. He did. He had a fantastic breakdown on lefty versus righty. So I'll be using some of that in mine, and I'll be giving him credit for some of that because he did a really good job with that. And I think that's something that needs to be talked about more. I think a lot of people think that like lefties and righties have it the same, but it's very different worlds, very different games. Let's see. Surfboard. What type of ball is best? 47 feet. Strong. You want some strong ASIM stuff because your ball is not going to hook. So you want stuff that's going to dig. All right. We are going to do last call for questions tonight. Final call for questions. Let me know any other questions you guys have while you're heading out the door in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure to drop a subscription or follow before you head out. Best way to help support the channel. We're at like 17,000 subs on YouTube. We're at about 25,500 follows on TikTok. We're at about 11,500 follows on Facebook. We're almost at 10,000 follows on Instagram. So go check out our Instagram. And if you want to talk to a lot more bowlers, have more interactions like this with other bowlers, make sure to check out our Discord. We're at over 1,000 members, and there are some incredible, awesome and funny conversations that happen over there. You can choose my league bag every week if you want. You can jump into Arsenal help, bowling form help. You can give me content ideas straight there. It's the place that I'm the most active outside of live streams and videos. So make sure to go check out our Discord. That link is also down below in all of our descriptions or in all of our link trees as well. Let's see. Couple final questions. Steve, podcasts are great too. Need to get you on Bowlers Helping Bowlers. I was once. I definitely was probably a year ago at this point, but I was with you guys one time. But yeah, no. Podcasts that have the ability to grow are always good. Like, I think bowling doesn't have much for podcasting. Like, I don't consider this a podcast. But there really aren't any good ones. I know Sweep the Rack does theirs, but they are a very, very negative group of people, unfortunately, who I think, unfortunately, harm bowling more than they help at times. And then also, just really isn't much else. I know there's one, I forget who they are. They had Sarah Bowles on once. I don't remember who they are. They're on Spotify, though, but there's very few podcasts, so I'm hoping there's more coming soon. I might start one. We'll see if things can go well and I can try to do this. If I ever do this full time, I would love to. We should start a podcast. Talon, if I can ever do this full time, yes, I'd be in. Teach Talon to bowl goodly. Actually, it'd be teach Zach to bowl goodly. Almost good. Do you watch Victor Cortez's recaps? Would you ever do recaps? Yes, I do love his recaps. I do have my own for some tournaments. I just posted one about my garden center tournament on TikTok, and I think I didn't post it on anywhere else. I got to post that to Instagram in the next couple days as well on Facebook. I think it was a really fun recap. You guys generally really like the recaps, so I am going to be doing more of them because I always get videos of myself bowling. My fiance comes to a lot of tournaments. She gets a lot of clips for me. The reason she gets clips is for me to just see my game, to see like, is my physical game stacking up to how it was in practice and what I can improve on, but also a few other things. Bowler's Mind on Verity's channel. I did not know Verity had a podcast. Huh. I'm a bad person. We both learn to bowl goodly-ish. Yes, I will. Hey, you get to be the goodly. I'll be the ish. Then we're good to go. I'm an old soul. I'm lost. I'm a lost cause. Otherwise, how close are the Ion Max and Vengeance? Ion Max is a bit stronger, bit smoother. Garrett, any tips on tugging the ball? And missing left muscle. You're muscling it way too much. So you're probably getting here and you're pulling down. Bowler's Passport. I don't know them. I don't know them at all. I'll have to look them up. On the Gutter. On the Gutter is who I was thinking of, Mark. I think. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. It's an active podcast. I know it's an active one. They tag Sarah in every post because I'm friends with her on Facebook and she's tagged like every single week now. Low key, I always dislike when people do that. Like, I'll see people post on social media and they'll tag like 20 different people, like on every single post they do. It's like, brother, you don't need to do that. It's okay. Bowling with Zoe, what are your thoughts on putting 2LS on a motive ball? Oh, it's A-okay. Definitely A-okay if you're a two-hander. I recommend it, actually. 2LS, I think, is an awesome layout style. Brunswick hasn't really officially released like an easy one without a computer yet, so until they do that, I will go with them. I used to follow Bowling Science Forum on Facebook. No bueno. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those negative people garner negative communities. I've run into that in the last couple of weeks with some of the lovely controversy from a bowling company. They're sending their negative people towards me. So there are negative pockets of the internet to stay away from. But with that, I think we're going to call it on that because my voice is starting to die out on me. I want to give a big thank you to everybody who watched today. Thank you so much for hanging out. We have a lot of awesome stuff coming. Remember, tomorrow is the all brand arsenal guide on every single platform. Sunday is a budget versus expensive bowling arsenal. What is the cheapest arsenal you can make with our 6-ball category? And what is the most expensive arsenal you can make? And which one should you go for? What should you aim at? A lot of really cool content coming. We have a USB-C video coming next week. Brunswick Guide is going to be sometime in the next couple of weeks. Apparently a podcast with Talon is coming very soon. Good night to you, Don. Brennan, think about getting a strong and sharp ball to go with your Hyperdrive Pearl, Rockstar, and Ocean Vibe. Absolutely. I think it's a good idea. I love my Hyperdrive Pearl in my youth league. Equinox is a good play. Black Widow Mania is a good play. Or EVOKE Hysteria are all good plays for you. But otherwise, that is going to be it. TikTok, I'm going to say goodbye to you first. TikTok, you guys were awesome tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging in. I will see you all on the next one. Wow, we got ironically close to 2 hours. That's crazy. We were at 2 hours and 56 minutes on there. Crazy. Ooh, Viking. Thank you, Talon. I keep forgetting the Viking. That I got to do better. I got to be better. I got to be better at that. I got to stop forgetting the Viking. Thank you so much. But YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, huge thank you to you guys. I'd really appreciate follows on some other platforms. Again, if you want to talk to more like-minded bowlers, go check out the Discord. The ZVL Bowling Ball Addicts is a beautiful place where you can get addicted to bowling balls of any kind, and you get to hear me quite a bit. But otherwise, thank you guys all for hopping in. I'll end you guys with a stream ending page, and I will see you all on the next one.